said he had it. He was gonna bring it.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, folks. I just wanted to make a little announcement as we get started this evening. We are live streaming on YouTube. Hopefully there'll be no glitches. I understand there was a glitch. Those YouTubes are available for you once they're downloaded or whatever. There's no charge for that at the township. It keeps a record, a transcript of you, if you will, of the meeting. You can access those without going through the normal right to know requests that are standard. So if we are not in the room for whatever reason, that keeps playing all the time. So the video is on, the audio is on. This is a public meeting room. Previously, from time to time, if we went into an executive session, say to discuss personnel or legal matters, a lot of times the public we asked the public to step out. I never liked that arrangement, so we retire to the, I guess, garage would be the way to describe it. And that way you guys can stay in here. So we get started promptly at 7. We do have a couple of slightly different things tonight, but I look forward to it. $2,900 worth of mulch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the agenda.
It's on F.
Which one is that?
It's not on the parks.
Like, I
and
gotta
Recs,
read the whole thing?
though.
Under this section?
Yeah,
Alright, thanks.
Yeah, no,
I thought the same thing. I was like, Harold, did you put that on there? And he goes, it's under administration.
You can't confuse me too.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks. So what are your thoughts on that? Send you a text. Have we sent you a text? So I'll have to coordinate you to get the mask. Put down what day as well. You said they're in the shed.
There's a seat up here.
This is all good.
Did you make it today? To the bus?
Oh, I did.
You did?
Yeah, but
Nobody.
you didn't get any culprits.
No.
I guess that's a good thing.
They're hunting them all.
Was it
It's gonna be Jed's job.
3:45?
It's like 5-10 hours before the.
I looked at my clock at work today and I thought, I wonder if he made it.
So I had my phone sitting out today in case somebody could take a picture,
Oh, yeah.
but I, nobody's, thinking about that.
Yeah.
We got 7 o'clock on our watch. I'll call this meeting to order of March 19th. Ask you to pledge the allegiance. And we're going to stay standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the moment of silence tonight. I wanted to continue or start the tradition that we discussed. In particular, we'd like to remember Amity Corporal Chris High, State Trooper Corporal Timothy O'Connor. Moving forward, if anybody from the community has someone special that they'd like to remember, I wanted to kind of add that so perhaps our moment of silence has the least bit more meaning. So let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. We're going to do a roll call. Mr. Gillo. Here. Mr. Rhodes is not here. Ms. Fix.
I'm here.
Mr. Steve. Here. And I'm here. There's an item C on our agenda, which is going to be augmented by a brief commentary from an area youth, kind of a surprise. Mr. Siegel, would you come up here? In addition to the honor statement and the moment of silence, I'd kind of like that to be introduced perhaps by a student. That's good, right there, anywhere's good. The student you see is Caden Siegel. He's an intern in my law office. I asked him to prepare a brief statement as we move forward throughout the township, and we kind of honor the people and recognize the people came before us. He's a Twin Valley class of 2026 graduate. I have not seen or heard what he's about to say, but I appreciate it. Take it away, Mr. Siegel.
Today we would like to take a moment to honor and remember Andrew Robeson. Robeson was born in Sweden in 1654 and moved to this area around 1718. Robeson owned large amounts of land throughout the area, including roughly 1,000 acres in present-day Exeter and 1,300 acres here in Robeson. While Robeson did not directly live on this land, after his death in 1720, his son Israel inherited the land in Robeson and lived on it. It is for either Andrew or his son Israel that this land is named after. Today, Andrew is buried at modern-day St. Gabriel's in Douglasville, and his death in 1720 makes the grave the oldest known grave site in Berks County. While Robeson has passed, his way of life reflects the sacrifices and work put into this area by the many settlers who were here before us. Robeson's legacy continues to live on through the land which he once owned which is now named after him.
Thank you, Mr. Siegel. All right, The last preliminary item is with respect to a flag retirement. You're gonna notice that a box will be here. It's not on display tonight. Is that correct, Mr. Bull?
That's correct.
And Mr. Reddinger, you have a box of flags to get us started. There'll be a proper flag retirement ceremony in a place where you can drop off flags to be determined for proper handling and retirement. So stay tuned for that. There's a bunch of additional things coming towards you. I'd like to announce an executive session held on March 17th, where we discussed personnel and legal issues. And at this time, I see a number of residents, a packed house. We welcome you. We're glad you come out. Wish you would come out, fill the room every night or every meeting. We have in here that a 3-minute limit. That's not a hard and fast rule. We do have a pretty big agenda. I would ask that you state your name and your address for the record. Again, everyone, we are being broadcast, recorded, if you will, live streamed. So with that, I'll open it up if anybody would like to say anything.
Oh, absolutely, because I'm gonna be the last person you wanna hear, Mr. Bittler. So before you start on Jason and protecting Jason, we're gonna give you a rundown of this township in the last how many years he's been on the board. In my opinion, my knowledge and observations, I am thoroughly disgusted. And my name's Joy Brightenstein. I live at 961 Rock Hollow Road. I'm here because I believe I need to protect the community by being honest. This Board of Supervisors is supposed to do what is best for in the best interest of our community. Mr. Bittler has used his position as a Board of Supervisors to use our township funds, resources, and offices to fuel his huge obsession to go after me, making anything I request in this township a huge issue. He fired Craft Code Services over giving me an occupancy for a garage that my husband wanted to use, even though my father had a garage there for 40 years. But he had no problem with the garage opening up the road that was like 3/10 of a mile after being closed for years. He had no problem with the garage opening there. I did not file to use the property till going off the Board of Supervisors, so I didn't appear that I was utilizing my position to benefit me, because that's not the goal. Mr. Bittler and his 2 accomplices on the board changed all the committees to get rid of anyone that had to sign up for me during the election. They chose to put Ms. Fix's family, his friends, and her fiance on the boards. Mr. Fix was put on the zoning hearing board to stop my special exception request, which fell within all of the rules of the township. At which point, I would fail and say I was going to cost me $1,000 for nothing. Mr. Bittler's trying to say I did that by wanting to protect my customers' vehicles by having someone that live there. I'm causing harm to the township, which is bizarre, because we live 800 feet from the road. So you can't see our garage, nor can you see our customers' vehicles. A camera isn't gonna help stop theft or damage. I stopped the request and my money was not returned. They were informed. Gene Orlando was informed. He used to be our solicitor, but oh yeah, we've only gotten 3 fired by now. And about 6 to 7 employees who have left due to these things. Amazingly, another person has at least 2 homes on 3 separate parcels of land. And Mr. Bittler is aware, yet chose to take no action. He will try to convince you that I am a risk to the community. I care deeply about our community and am willing to take the risk to expose what I see as wrong on so many levels, regardless of the consequences, because I know it will not end with him. He will continue. Mr. Fix made a statement on Facebook about me costing the township money, which was completely inaccurate. I did not respond during the entire part. I just kept my mouth shut. That was completely inaccurate. I did not use township money. It was the other person who cost the township money. just like what Mr. Steve and Mr. Bittler are currently costing the township now with the labor lawyer. Two of these supervisors have manipulated who is going to be police chief and manager since last summer. Mr. Steve and Mr. Bittler met daily in the township office, just like they're doing now. They met with an officer from Reading who sued the city of Reading, just like Mr. Bittler sued our township. Mr. Bittler, and that's who they'd like to be chief of police, by the way. Mr. Bittler got access to all my files from the previous manager, Mr. Orwig, who made a comment, all documents, all my documents, meaning mine, were for Mr. Bittler, and anything he wants, you need to give him. Mr. Bittler and Mr. Steve want to micromanage our township for their own personal agendas. This was not done through the proper channels as Mr. Bittler's normal behavior. Personnel files were shredded without proper knowledge by the rest of the board in 2025, by Mr. Steve and Mr. Bittler, because Mr. Gullo, Mr. Rhodes, and I had no knowledge of it. But then we didn't sit in the office every day. And we don't have a manager today because they want someone they can control. Mr. Bittler also obtained documents he wanted from the township building, but no one has a clue what he took. He agreed to have things shredded and cleaned up and whatever, but we don't know what he took. He did not inform or share with any of us what he did. There are 4 more incidents that are hidden from the other members of the board in 2025 than just what I've mentioned. The township needs to own Robeson Revealed and the equipment to maintain the integrity of the meetings being taped. This is not his personal township. It is the residents of Robeson. Our community and township matter. If we don't stand up for it, no one else is going to. Being on the board twice, I've made that observation. I will not put my friends, family, or anyone else on the board because that's a conflict of interest. Mr. Fix was put on by Fire Chief by Mr. Bittler, who stated he doesn't care as long as the trucks run. How about the safety of our community? That should be their priority. Are they trained? No, to the best of my knowledge, none of that has occurred. Mr. Bittler, which this is unsafe for our community in our opinion. The attorney that the Board of Supervisors approved is Berks County Court of Common Pleas as custody and support hearing master. Yet, Mr. Bittler and his son claim they do not know him. Since they handle those types of cases, I find it quite strange. And Mr. Bittler's remark on Robeson Revealed when he came to the meeting said, "I don't know you, do I, Mark?" Well, that just raises a red flag for me. Because nobody in this place, if you have custody or whatever, don't tell me you don't know the person who's in charge of it. Robeson Township cannot keep employees because of the verbal abuse that has involved occurring women in this township since Colleen was manager. And Mr. Bittler was the one who filed the complaint against her and went to Superior Court with one of his friends to turn around and make sure. After Colleen got off the board, ironically, after she left because of being ill, he turned around and created more problems for her. She was abused frequently. Screaming and yelling at them is not an acceptable behavior and created a very hostile working environment. Feeling uncomfortable and unsafe with Mr. Bittler and Mr. Steve creates an environment that no one should have to tolerate. I know that firsthand. I've observed it. He has belittled our previous manager because he was way too respectful, came out of the service, and tolerated the abuse publicly. Our employee handbook is not being followed. No employee deserves this. It has caused the township to not be able to hire a manager because the two of them have been playing manager early in the morning when no one knows what's going on. And we're unable to hire a manager. We had 3 applicants for managers months ago. Well, they didn't want them. I love the one who said, "I don't like attorneys." Guess what? There's a reason. Because he didn't trust them. also going with any other assistant, we have lost 6 to 8 employees due to, of course, they will say their behavior, but I will say their behavior. Acting Chief Jason Rimby, and my concern for the community is the reason I'm speaking out. Mr. Bittler only wants to employ people he can control. The CPA that we employed for years since Colleen was here, which has got to be 8-10 years ago now, refuses to work with Mr. Bittler or Mr. Steve because she does not approve of their unethical financial practices. Acting Chief Jason does what is in the best interest of the community, regardless of the negativity he receives from Mr. Bittler and Mr. Stave, or the abuse. They only care about their personal agendas, outsource everything. If you don't like your PAMs being outsourced, wait till they're done, because they just want to outsource everything for you, which they will deny until it happens. Outsource, not good. Put our community at risk, which this community does not deserve. Acting Chief Jason Rimby deserves to be protected as chief or stay acting chief so that the Board of Supervisors can't fire him just because he's honest about everything. Acting Chief Rimby is not going to be manipulated, which is why they don't want him. Micromanagement is the process of the 3 members of the board. Notice I didn't say 5. Micromanagement means you're insecure. It means you want to control everything. I have no desire to do that. There is a community. You as the residents are at the top of that chain. If you don't agree with the behavior, you need to start nailing them to the wall. You will sit and watch 2 try to do the right thing, like the 4 of us did before, but because we don't kiss his feet, we don't matter. So, they don't want him. How is the behavior of 3 supervisors benefiting our township by their own agendas? Sadly, it doesn't. I don't care if they're your friends, they're your family. We are a community. We care about the place we live. I don't care if you moved here yesterday, grown up here your whole life. It doesn't make me any different than you. But if you care about your community, you need to be involved because the things that occur here occur in the background. Pay attention to what goes on up at that office. Walk in there. See why we only have Mr. Steve and Mr. Bittler, and they have meetings in the mornings, every morning. Whatever's happened, I couldn't tell you because the other 3 of us were not privy to any of that. So, it's your community, people. I care about it. This was very difficult for me and very emotional because I'm tired of him playing games with your money and the township money just because he personally doesn't like me. There's another neighbor who has 2, not 1, 2 houses on 2 different parcels. He knows that person. Think he bothered him? No. So, there's copies of things if anybody wants them. They're here. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and do what you need to do to support your community. Thank you.
Anybody else? Ma'am, if you,
Wait,
hold on one second.
can I respond to the fire chief comment? Because the board was gonna close down Gibraltar Fire Company, because it was not functioning. My dad stepped in because he used to run fire calls with Gibraltar since he was a kid. My grandfather was a founding member there at Gibraltar Fire Company. So I don't know what she was trying to accuse my dad of, but he stepped up because nobody else was. So right now he's trying to get the Gibraltar Fire Company functioning again, and he's trying to train the staff. He's trying to get everybody, functioning, and we're just gonna bring him down. So I don't know, but
The fire company is Gibraltar, as well as
I think
Tiger
Mr.
Town.
Gulo can speak that they're working together from my understanding.
So-
They're trying to.
So the fire company Gibraltar is doing much better than it's been in recent years,
It's not where it needs to be, but
but they're working on it. Now, hold on, Mr. Welk, you have the floor, ma'am, if you could state your name.
Thank you. I am Cassie Ketter, 1831 Golf Course Road, and I do have some items for you guys here. If that is okay for me to pass out. There might be one stuck there. Just next
is it,
to-
oh,
There you go.
do you want me to hand this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll hand it. There you go. And then here is the petition. You guys may have seen, I had started a petition. Again, I am Cassie Ketter. I am a township resident. I'm here tonight because a lot of the people in this community care about who leads our police department. I recently started a petition asking the board to seriously consider acting Chief Rimby to ensure the position is handled through a fair and professional process. So far, 333 people have signed, and that number is still growing. For a township of our size, that's a meaningful number of people taking the time to speak up. And that doesn't just happen unless people truly care about the outcome. Acting Chief Rimby isn't just a name on a resume. He's someone people in this township already know, trust, and rely on, and you can't manufacture that community trust, and he's already earned it through years of service. When someone has shown that level of commitment to a community, they deserve a fair shot, not just consideration, but a process that's transparent and based on merit. I also think it's important to recognize the value of leadership that already understands this township, the people, the challenges, and the day-to-day realities of the job. Bringing in somebody from outside may check boxes on paper, but it also comes with a learning curve, a disconnect that our community simply doesn't have with acting Chief Rimby. We already have someone who knows this community and has proven himself in it. I also want to speak on the stability of this role. Leadership positions like this shouldn't depend on politics or personal opinions. The chief of police should be able to do the job without worrying that the position could be taken away without cause. While I understand the chief may not fall under FOP protections, I'm asking the board to consider including a just cause provision in the chief's contract so that this position has the stability and fairness it deserves. I know the members of this board may have differing perspectives, and I absolutely respect that. But each of you has an individual responsibility to this community, and I hope that when this decision is made, it reflects both the service acting Chief Rimby has given and the support he clearly has from residents. This petition is not about politics, it's about recognizing somebody who has already proven himself to this community. 333 people have already taken the time to speak up, and I hope tonight the board shows the community that their voices matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, anybody next? Yes, sir.
Richard Steele, Robeson Township. Officer Rimby, Chief Rimby, how long have you been acting as the chief now?
Since July of 2024.
July of 2024. And your job is, I would say your job is stressful as hell. Correct?
You could say that, yes.
Okay. It is. I know it is. Okay? And not only do you do the chief's job, you do a lot of other jobs. Okay? In this office, as far as I know, as far as I hear. I don't understand. I don't know that there's a law that you have to advertise for a new police chief. You don't have to. You could have made him police chief. I don't understand why. A year and a half, police chief. Why do you hate the guy? Why? You're one of them.
Spend money to...
Excuse me, sir, just one at a time.
Why do you hate the guy? He's doing a good job out there, along with, I see other police officers in here tonight. Every one of these officers in this township are great officers. And even the ones you lost were good officers. Why'd they leave? Why'd they go over to Birdsboro? Why'd they go to Amity? Why'd they go to Douglasville? Why? Because of this bullshit up here. That's why. To me, I've hired many, many lawyers and I've fired many. To me, they're scumbags. Okay? Lawyers are scumbags. There's good cops and there's bad cops. I've been around all of them. Good ones and bad ones. You got good ones here. I don't know why he hasn't been made chief tonight. The people want him as chief. And then he's got to protect you? I hope if you get a call tomorrow that nobody shows up at your house. It's wrong what you're doing to him. It's wrong. We had another police chief here that was great. He left. I've known him for years, way before he was a police chief. He was a good police chief. Stressful. Bullshit on this council up here. I don't know who you are. I don't know you very well, but you shouldn't be sitting in on the, whoever's gonna, apply for the police chief job. You shouldn't be on there. You got two guys up here, as far as I know, you should have somebody else.
Yeah, Jeff and Harold and Dennis Castle have a committee formed, and
Okay.
they're doing the interviews. So what happened?
I don't think he should be on there. He's already in cahoots with this guy. Okay? He's already in cahoots with him.
I mean, he has a seat at the table, so it's.
Okay, I'm under the understanding, all around this township, I talked to a lot of people. I network all over the place. That you already have the police chief picked, Bittner. That you already have the guy in mind, who you want to be chief. What is wrong with that guy over there? Not a damn thing. A year and a half as police chief. He should have been made police chief 2 months after he ran after you appointed him, or however he got appointed. I think he got appointed by the previous police chief as sergeant. It's wrong. 20 years, union representative right here, union president, 20 years, 2 different companies. Steelworkers and textile union, okay? If I can form a police chief union, I would. Because this is bullshit.
Okay, next person? Yes, ma'am.
My name's Kaylee Gullo, address 106 Whispering Pine Lane. I just have a couple questions and maybe some statements. Would you all say you care about the township? Yes, yes, yes. Just from what I've seen, I have a really hard time believing that, honestly. I've been to one previously. I've seen the live streams, all the Facebook posts from the concerned residents. If you cared, I think you would put a foot forward to support what we all want. You, Tim, you really have the nerve to say you don't think we want Rimby and he's not the right choice. I know you made a comment saying that you want this many people. It's unfortunate that it takes a situation like this to get all of us in here, but we're here for him. All the people last week are here for him. All the people on Facebook are here for him. And I feel like you guys, honestly, you sit here, you brush them off, interrupt them, push to the next topic. You said it here, one person at a time. You all get your voice heard. I think there's a difference between hearing someone talk and actually doing something about what they're saying. Rimby has displayed nothing but pride, respect, protection, and growth for our police in this township. If you can't respect what we want and the people who elected you, what they want, you shouldn't probably oversee anything for this township. Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing to have officials who are selfish, who lie, who disrespect the residents and the employees of the township like some of you do. You and anyone who agrees with you, honestly, you should be ashamed. This is perfect what we have right here. I know him personally. I know him on a professional level through the fire company. He comes in, he supports the fire company, he goes to the schools. You guys aren't doing that. I don't see anyone else doing that. I think this is the perfect guy right here. You display nothing but hatred for things you don't want. You lie, you gaslight to get everyone into buying what you want. I spent the last 3 years of high school and college working with children daily. It's my major. It's kind of sad that they show me more respect and better behavior than some of the grown adults in front of me do. I think it's interesting that you find the need to control everyone and everything. You were elected by the residents of this township, and you've shown nothing but the opposite of what we want. We have no office staff, which is something you lied about at the previous meeting. Why has this township come crashing down since this January? It's my question. And another thing, the last thing, I'm under the impression that he wants this position, but doesn't feel protected. Can you tell me why you wouldn't protect him?
I don't know that he does or doesn't. I'm not gonna comment on the I'm not gonna comment on the application procedure.
Did you apply for the position? Mr. Mayor? Okay. I guess that means he wants it.
Do you not like him?
When did you apply, Chief?
Shouldn't you know that?
Prior to the deadline, and your application is among
I'm
for-
sorry, why does it matter when he applied? He
Because
stated he did
had,
apply.
right,
No,
before the deadline.
So when he did
So
apply.
before that, ma'am,
So
you
I'm
wanna
gonna
state?
piggyback. I'll
you-
stand up. I'm
okay.
Nicole Wisniewski. You remember me from the last meeting.
Okay.
I came
Not
here.
really, but if
Okay,
she's
you
not
do.
done, hold on a
Absolutely
second,
you do.
are you
No,
done?
I'm gonna piggyback off of her.
One at a
I'm
time,
gonna
please.
stand with her.
One
No,
at-
two
one
of
at a
us at a
time.
time. Can you handle 2 women at a time? Because that's what we're about to do.
Apparently not.
So, I was very
So one
respectful
person,
and I'll remain
one
very
person
respectful.
will speak at a
Do you mind
time
if I
when
speak,
possible.
please?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Thank you.
Now,
So,
you are, again,
I'm
mi-
Nicole Wisniewski.
Okay.
I attended the last meeting to speak on behalf of Officer Rimby. Don't forget your address. 3371 Morgantown Road. So I came to the last meeting and honestly I left with no answer. So tonight I handed out to a few people, Mr. Ketter, my friend in the back, we're friends now. This young lady who did the petition, thank you for doing that, honestly. So I passed this out tonight. I got my hands on the township, what would you call it? Book, I don't know, let's follow this and follow the rules. At the top of this org chart, so I work for a corporation, there's an org chart at every corporation. It's how we do business, who's in charge. We are in charge. We are over the board here. So let that be known. If you'd like this is in your handbook, I believe. But I'll just let you take a look at that so you don't have to fabricate it. At the last meeting, there was some question about staffing. So I am curious. It's been almost 2 weeks and there's been no staff at the township building. So what's going on with that? Can we get an answer to that?
I don't know where that comes from. That the office has been staffed every day.
So Lori, who spoke at the last meeting, so I know Lori, because I too am in the community, I too work in the community, I know a lot of people. Lori called and she showed up to the building and nobody was present. So is Lori crazy or?
I have no idea when she
Okay.
did that, but I can tell you, the office has been staffed. Have you called that I wasn't there?
I was in there.
Yeah, I called multiple times and I also tried going in person
Ma'am,
because
could
no
you,
one.
if you're done, then it's your turn.
I'm not done.
Okay. Hold your thought and we'll get to you in a minute.
No,
You know
I'm just trying to back you up, girl.
Thank you. So the other thing is, it's my understanding we hired a fiscal assistant for $60 an hour, spent $12,000 on a finder fee. Where is that person?
We didn't pay the finder fee yet, so there's that.
Was
But
somebody hired at $60 an hour?
Yeah.
So where's that person?
Mr. Morrow, this is a personnel matter. That person is not in the office,
Why?
at least today. I'm not gonna comment on personnel matters.
So as
These are, you gonna let me finish, ma'am?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. These are personnel matters. I'll ask and I'll defer to our attorney to make a comment on that.
Yeah, that's it. She is scheduled to be here tomorrow. She doesn't work every day of the week. She only works 3 days a week.
And then who's supposed to staff when she's not there?
That's just her, she's like a fiscal
I
administrator.
understand that,
She works
yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Fridays.
So the office is and has been open, despite.
Has not.
Well,
You're lying
okay.
again.
There's multiple residents
Okay,
that have
well,
stated trying to be there, trying to
The
call,
office
it's not.
is and has been
If
open and
you
will
and
be
Mr.
open.
Steve weren't in there, who would be there the last 2
Excuse
weeks?
me?
If you and Mr. Steve did not staff the office, who would have been in there the last 2 weeks besides today?
That depends.
No, it depends. It was locked.
No, the office is not locked.
Okay, let me
The office
speak
is functioning.
gently. We have
and-
one employee who quit because of their behavior. We have one employee who is out because of their behavior, and one employee that refuses to come to the office because of their behavior. And two, I'll call third-party contractors who have now quit because of their behavior. So no, the only people staffing the office are Mr. Bittler and Mr. Steve.
Thanks, Scott.
No
I
problem.
appreciate your honesty. The next thing I'd like to discuss, I'm not sure I'll get an answer, but I'm here for Jason and the township residents who have all spoken out clearly in a petition, on Facebook. They've been in my inbox since the last meeting. Mr. Bittler, since the last meeting, we didn't get an answer, but I'm wondering, and I hear that there's camera footage. I'm wondering why did you find it acceptable to go to residents' homes or call them and badger them on supporting Acting Chief Rimby based off their positive comments on Facebook.
No
Can you answer
no
that?
one ever badgered any township residents. If there's film footage, please show me. I wanna make a slight, comment. When former Chief Dennis Castle made a decision, he was making a career change in 2024, there was a process put in place with, here's what we would like to see in a chief. And that was a 2-page document. Okay, then the situation became where it sat idle and has done nothing. Now, I've heard comments about how long he's been in there as chief. I'm not commenting on his job performance or any employee's job performance tonight. What I am saying is I took over as this chairman in January of this year. I'd asked my colleagues what was transpiring in the last year. Why wasn't this taken care of then? There was a process decided on, and that process is
You were
being.
here last year too.
That process, I was here all right, not liking what I saw. There's
You
a
like
pro-
that you did now? I don't think they do. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
So basically,
No, wait
when
a second,
I
I'm gonna make sure he's done this fix.
Oh, I'm done. For now.
When I joined the board in January, we were in an executive session. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to. And Supervisor Rhodes said that Acting Chief Rimby did not want the job. So what are we supposed to do? We go and
Okay, as recently as a few months ago, I believe he communicated to Mr. Steve on 2 occasions that he wasn't interested. That's a recent
but if he didn't
development.
want it,
However, he made the application deadline. I'm sure that committee will be fair and consider his
and consider
application.
the petition as well and
And
everybody's opinions and
Correct.
I think all of that's
So
really
leave the
important.
process play out. That decision is not tonight. I have no personal diswill or ill will towards any officer. I'm here to run or any force.
Lightning gonna strike?
That lie blew me away. I'm sorry.
Is this like theater? Like,
It
I don't
is,
know what
it is,
you're
yeah.
doing.
YouTube loves it.
Well, if you're done.
No, actually, since you brought it up.
Well,
Again,
not
I'm going to
done.
ask the question for the second time. How many times have you stated that that guy will never be chief under your watch and you want him out of the department? Watch
No,
what you say because things were recorded.
Well, if they're recorded, show me the recording.
No, it don't-
show me the recording.
So
Now you
you-
keep
so
blowing
you
things
did
around.
say it.
You keep blowing things
So you
around.
did say it.
Not in that context. Here's
What
the
was the
situation.
context?
Here's the context.
You
Here's
something
the-
you want to say, you keep staring at me like locked
Me?
in. Yeah.
No, I just think you're all a bunch of clowns. I got popcorn if you wanna make it.
Now hold on a second. I would really.
I'd like to see the video if you say you have it.
Well,
Let's
he was
show
about
it.
to say
Now,
it.
hold on a
Say it.
second.
Let's say it last meeting.
Hold on a
I'd love to
second.
see it.
Let's just try this one time.
Other than that, roll around in
I
your
think-
chair.
Hold on a
I
second.
will. When I push.
Hold on a second. Now,
Whoa,
folks. Now,
whoa.
folks.
First of all, this is a chief of our fire department.
You're a grown man.
I know you're clowning, like that's
Now,
another mess.
folks, I would again request,
Okay, he's not.
Mr. Caldwell, I would again request,
I'm 18
I would
years old.
again
Learn how to
request
act
that
right.
we
Clearly you're an adult.
conduct ourselves in a productive manner, one person at a time. I'm asking again. One person at a time, so we can, record and we can broadcast. Now, I have no ill will towards any officers or any people whatsoever. This is a business. We have a procedure, and that's going to be followed to the best of my ability. What I want is the best police chief that we can get, and that may or may not be Acting Chief Rimby.
It is.
Okay,
Did you not
that,
hear all of us?
Can you
okay.
go back to that comment though that you said you didn't say it that way?
Okay, I said things that could be said could be taken out of context.
So what was the context?
Well, when the acting chief has made clear that there were no real interest shown in the year and a half that he was acting chief, and in fact told at least 2 supervisors, I've never had discussions with him. We've never had discussions on
What
his.
is your disdain for Mr. Rimby?
I have no disdain. You don't seem to be either listening
But
or
you said
understanding.
your comment was taken out of context.
It's taken
what
out of
you said.
context. I do not believe, and I'm pleasantly surprised. In fact, he did apply. I'm pleasantly surprised. He can be, and he is in with the 15. Now, if you want to review some of the YouTube videos that you have, you'll see that my position then is the same as it is now. That we need to open this up. We needed to do it in 2024, late 2024 or 2025. The board has changed several times. There's been appointments by my colleagues to the left that I believe have bogged the board down and cost us more problems. But those days are over. There's a new board here now. And what I'm telling you is that Acting Chief Rimby, if he was going to be, he's never expressed those interests to me or to my knowledge other people. It was just after this, what I'll say, public comment is. And I, again, welcome it. It is not too late. Nothing has been lost. However, there is a process that's going to run. That committee with former Chief Dennis Castle, Supervisor Harold Stevens, Supervisor Jeff Rhodes, they're going through that. I'm not part of that. I will have 1 vote out of 5 and yen run. And I will vote my conscience always. And sometimes that's popular, sometimes it's not, but it's the best candidate, in my opinion, that should prevail. So any context that he'll never make it or no one will vote, that's based on multifaceted, we have no interest. Apparently there are some people, and I'm not commenting on Mr. Rimby, there are some people that love unions, don't like unions, whatever their personal family situation. This is the collective bargaining agreement for the police. That's what this is. It's negotiated every 3 years, and we hired labor counsel to be a little more effective in those negotiations.
The one that didn't show up to our executive session for Labor Council?
What did you
No,
do
wait a
during
second,
that
I want
executive
to
session?
make sure he's done.
Oh,
Are you done?
Thank you for letting me know.
Are you done?
I will be.
Okay, so this is our contract with the police, not the chief. In here is Dennis Castle's contract, and that'll be reviewed by our solicitor. These contracts are, while it's in the same book, they're separate. They don't go together. Management functions as this township does with the chief of police is not in the union. Now, that's something that's known and generally accepted by most people. That's never been discussed been changed or modified. I would not support that. There's a reason why it's done like this all over the place. There's a reason, and the reason is multifaceted. Now, I'm not going to entertain any changes to at least one of those provisions in the contract. That's a year-to-year contract, and for those of you who think police have no protections, I'm here to tell you that they do. They do, and they know those protections. No one just willy-nilly fires police people. No one does that. So I hope that's an attempt to answer your question.
I appreciate that.
And that's a kind of recap of where we are. I don't know for sure how many people are interviewing or how many have or where that stands, but you'll know more in the next, I think, few weeks. So,
Can I do a follow-up question from the last meeting? I had already left, but it's my understanding, and I did a little bit of research, but you certainly can correct me if I'm wrong, all of you, that when Dennis Castle was put into chief, that position was not posted, and
okay.
he was.
Now, here's my understanding of that, and I didn't know the answer at that meeting. I feel I have a little better thought on that now, but I understand, and I was not here then. I was not on the board. I understand that there was some type of search done, there was some outreach, and that came back. We felt we had we felt Dennis Castle might be the best one. That's what I think that board did, but I wasn't on that board. So there was some type of, I'll say, looking around or advertising or done whatever, and there was some outreach effort. In our situation, we as a board unanimously, as I recall, said we will advertise, we will reach out, and we will get the best candidate. That's what this is all about, getting the best candidate. You may feel he is, and he may be, and maybe that's the way it will turn out, and maybe not.
Year and a half, you can't tell.
I mean, that would be my only perspective. I've run a bank for a long time, and typically I mean, a lot of jobs do it, we promote from within. I mean, if I have worked with someone for a year and a half, I'm fully aware if they're ready to be promoted or they're not. I mean, it's a simple thing.
That-
Not only has, like I said in my presentation last time, Jason has shown up, I've seen him at Geigertown, I've seen him at my stepdaughter's school, I've seen him all over the place. In both of your run for supervisor, you said to protect fire and police. And so my ask is, sometimes we have to stand up, and some may not like what Scott's saying, and some may think he's theatrical, but I see that a little bit differently. I see it as a little bit passionate. I came with a level of respect for the entire board. That's who I am as an individual. And I came here to show my support for Rimby. I will fight the good fight, understand that. That's the way I was raised to do things. But I will also do it with integrity and respect. However, I don't know how adults can sit in front of me who have vowed to protect our firefighters, to protect our police force, and then tell me that after a year and a half, we may or may not have the right candidate. Your community that has elected you, and we are your boss in this situation, we're telling you. I have not just dealt with Jason, and I'll get a little personal here, but I have not just dealt with Jason seeing him in the community. I have dealt with Jason on issues in trying to start a business that, if not for Jason, this township would have had a hefty lawsuit. I has also worked with Jason personally. Prior to my marriage, I was in an extremely abusive relationship. This man not only protected me by law, he went above and beyond to make sure me and my daughter were safe. So when I tell you that this man doesn't just show up for the community, he's not just a good-looking guy with a nice smile. Sorry, Tara. He walks the walk. Jason walks the walk. And when I tell you went above and beyond, Jason empowered me to become a woman who stood toe-to-toe with said abuser and put him away for a long time. Jason helped me hide my vehicle so said abuser couldn't find me. This is the character I'm talking about. So he is not just a face in our community. He has not just chum these residents to show up here tonight. Scott also Scott was just awarded for running into these houses, risking his own life to save his residents. That's what this is about. I'm not here to attack anybody. I'm not here to make enemies or whatever, but I'm here to speak that truth. And so you can't tell me that one chief gets just appointed a role, but now we're just not sure if we have the right candidate. You are sure. And please don't allow, maybe Jason has a different opinion on something. Maybe Jason doesn't see things the way you do all the time. But if we don't have that good collective disagreement once in a while, then who are we? Like, why were we elected? That's what we're supposed to do. So I'm gonna sit down at this point, I think I've talked enough, and let other people go. But please, whoever's doing this, I don't even see why it had to be an outreach. I don't see why it ever had to come to that. Jason is 100% correct for the job.
I just want to address something real quick.
Sure.
Maggie and I just came on the board in January. Maggie and I just came on the board in January. The previous board had a whole year plus to appoint Jason. They didn't. When I come on the board, I asked him. I asked him right out, was he interested in the job? And we had a discussion, and he really didn't think he wanted the job at the time.
He's allowed to change his mind.
Exactly. And he did.
Hold on. Let me finish. Everybody had their chance. Let me finish. I asked him twice whether he wanted the job, and he didn't. At the last minute, and I will say last minute, but the last half hour of the applications being open, he applied. Now, we weren't gonna just stop the process waiting on him to commit.
Why didn't he want to apply?
Well, you know what? That's up to
I feel
him
like
to
you know
answer.
why.
I mean, I'm not gonna convince somebody to take a job if they're not committed.
No,
to it.
but we're just asking
He's
why.
committed. Come on.
Like, we feel like you know why.
I mean, there's negotiations that can happen within like his contract. Like he wouldn't be protected by the union, but like there could be, you know, different protections there for him. Like we're not. Certainly won't hire him just to fire him. That would be ridiculous. You know what I mean?
There are some here that would.
Like,
And
I really don't hope that nobody else would, but I think they're gonna go through the process at this point. We owe it to the other applicants now who have applied because we thought he didn't want it, and maybe that's a miscommunication, misunderstanding, because I'm seeing reactions from people. But he is a candidate now, and he is going to, I believe, get an interview. I'm not on the committee, but I would hope he would get an interview, especially with everybody here. So I think
All right,
we're moving in the right direction.
all right, ma'am, state your name, please.
My name is Nikki Jenry. I live on Eastbrook Drive. So I'm also here to support Chief Rimby. But my concern, so I will say, like, I'm new to township drama. Like, I've never had an interest in it until the data center. I've gone back and I'm slowly going back and watching all of the previous township meetings. And I will say, like, I am disappointed in pretty much the entire board for behavior. Like, you guys are worse than my Real Housewives show that I watch. But that being said, I'm very concerned with the allegations last week about supervisors going to people's houses, and it does make me concerned that, like your statement, Mr. Bittler, where you said you're only one vote. Going back, and I'm probably like 2 years back now, there's definitely bullying on this board. And if you're, and I'm not saying you did, but if the allegations are true and you did go to someone's house or multiple people's houses and badger them, bully them, talk to them about it, my fear is that what are you doing to the other board members? And the one time that Ms. Fix did vote against you and, I'm sorry, Mr. Steve, the side eye you gave her was ridiculous. So I'm concerned, Ms. Fix, do you vote your own opinion? Or do you vote, and are you able to say if you don't vote your own opinion?
I'm not being bullied, I can promise you that.
Because the look that you got was absolutely appalling.
I can take it. I mean, I'm listening.
But why should you have to take it is what I'm asking. Why should anybody on the board fear voting against someone?
I don't fear voting against anybody. I vote for what I think is best for everybody in this room. I'm voting based on the information that's given to me. I'm 3 months into this. I'm very, very green. I'm new. I'm trying to learn.
That is exactly my concern. That is exactly my concern.
I am not being bullied.
If somebody is bullying residents, what is the pressure going to be like for you being new and other people on the board who maybe have been here longer and have been feeling the pressure?
Yeah, I'm not being bullied, so that allegation can just, go away. I've known Mr. Bittler for my entire life. I've known Harold for the past. So we can't know each other in the township? Are we not allowed to know each other? Because I've known him my whole life. I've known a lot of people in this room my whole life.
think
I'm trying.
Wait, ma'am, no, wait a second.
Well,
Wait. She has the floor. I will recognize you again before. Ma'am, I will recognize you again before. I will recognize you in a minute. She has the floor. She has the floor.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know who you're yelling
That
at.
is, I just want to say, as a citizen, I am 100%
Hold on, people.
concerned.
If we could just listen to what this lady says.
I am 100% concerned the past 2 years looking at board meetings and watching the YouTube videos that things are not right on this board. And I'm a new person going back, so people that, like, I can understand the frustration of people who have been involved for years and years and years, what they must be feeling. And like I said, I've only been active since the data center, but have been doing my due diligence and going back, and it's appalling. It really is. So you guys need to do better.
Thank
We're
you.
trying to,
Thank you.
move forward with professionalism.
Who's, anybody else for tonight? Yes, ma'am.
I used to work at the Township building. I was the receptionist there for 3.5 years. I've written my statement out because I want to make sure that I bring out all the points that I wanted to not get flustered with. Many residents have posed questions as to why the Township office.
Address.
Gail Evans, South Palmstown Road.
Thank you.
Many residents have posed questions as to why the township office cannot seem to hold on to employees. Up to 2 weeks ago, I had worked for the township for 3.5 years. It's sad to say I was the most tenured employee in the administrative office, with the second most tenured being there less than 2 years. That there indicates we have a problem. We have been through 5 fiscal assistants in 10 months, and we're seeking our 5th manager, including interim manager Steve, in 3.5 years that I've been there. We've been seeking a new manager for over 9 months without success. Mr. Bittler has been heard to say he hasn't found the manager he wants to hire yet. I thought this was a decision of the entire board, not just one supervisor. I observed our previous manager and staff being subjected to micromanagement and verbal attacks by Mr. Bittler on a regular basis. Mr. Bittler frequently tells the office staff that he is the boss and we are to do whatever he tells us in a loud and aggressive manner. Mr. Bittler is not the sole reason for high turnover. However, his loud, aggressive tirades toward employees create a toxic atmosphere in the office, and that keeps everyone on edge and disrupts a smooth workflow on a regular basis. The constant turnover of staff creates extreme stress, as we're continually having to cope with attempting to do jobs we have no training for, all while being concerned that Mr. Bittler will find a reason to chastise us for mistakes. Mr. Bittler and Mr. Steve have been heard trashing staff members behind their back. Here's a point for you, Mr. Steve and Mr. Bittler. People in the office know what's going on behind their backs. Mr. Bittler is known for coming into the office shouting that he's the boss and things are going to be done his way. I think Mr. Bittler forgets that he's one of 5 on this board, and the board's job is to set overreaching policies that guide the township. But the office manager oversees the day-to-day administrative work of the township office. These disruptive office visits have escalated in frequency since the first of the year after Mr. Steve and Ms. Fix have joined him on the board. This leads to questions I recently heard asked why the township office is not open during its expected hours. On Thursday, March the 5th, I came into the office at my regular starting time of 10 a.m. to our admin, Paula, in tears and shaking. When I asked her if she was all right and what was wrong, she told me Mr. Bittler had been that morning loudly and aggressively berating her for a multitude of things that had nothing to do with her job. 6 hours later, Paula left early for the day, still shaking and upset. This interaction was overheard by a new fiscal person in the next office, who later approached me and expressed her concerns that this is how employees were treated. She wasn't sure if she wanted to continue working there. Friday, the day after this meeting, neither Paula nor the fiscal assistant were at work, and while not positive, I don't believe they've been back. I understand Paula was back today, but I don't believe that the fiscal has been back since. I had approached Mr. Steve expressing my concerns for Paula, and I'd never seen her that upset. Mr. Steve's response was he had seen Paula upset before, and Mr. Bittler generally was not that bad. I went home that evening and sent a resignation letter to the board, letting them know I was unable to give 2 weeks of notice as I no longer felt safe working in the office. Mr. Bittler is known to be aggressive and retaliatory toward anybody who crosses him. People have a right to know what's going on in the township admin office, and even though I no longer work there, I feel it's my responsibility to bring these issues to light where I can. And before anybody trashes my reputation, I have never had a write-up or a reprimand at any time at the office. I worked hard and tried to do my best by the residents I interacted with each day.
Okay, anybody else? Let's say, you seem like you've been waiting patiently.
Sure, we can go with that.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that, man.
It's fine. I'm Janelle McMullen. I live in Whispering Pines. I just want to set the record straight here for a little bit of something that Mr. Steve said. Well, you may have just joined the board after this last election. You have been sitting up there as some sort of like fill-in for township manager, and prior to that, you sat in this chair backing him up for I don't even know how long. Don't shake your head at me. I'll go back to YouTube and pull the videos right now. I'm not done.
One at a time, guys.
You, I don't know you. You just got here. You're finding your footing. I hold no ill will towards you. You're doing the best you can in the circumstances that you're in. Mr. Bittler, you were my grandmother's attorney. That is the most respected woman in the world to me. She's no longer on this earth, but for the life of me, I don't understand why she ever paid you a dime for what you did. As for Jason, you want to say that you don't know why he didn't want the position or anything like that, why he didn't apply. The point we're trying to make is it never should have gotten to this point. You didn't need to open up for applications. He was there. You treated him like crap. You're doing it right now in front of us and act like we're idiots and we don't know this. We're not blind. We can see it. We're listening to it, and you're not listening to us. You may hear us talking, but I don't think anything is actually filtering as to what we're trying to tell you guys. And I'm not just standing here to like attack you guys. I know Jeff and I know Scott personally. I've told them when they've been out of line, I don't hold back. Right now, with what they're doing, they're supporting their township and what they want. You guys aren't. You just sat there and lied to this room full of people saying you had nothing to do prior to January. That's an outright lie.
He didn't have a
I'm not a
vote.
voting member.
I'm
As a manager, I'm not a voting member. And I've
you're
worked
not a
well with
voting
Jason.
member, but you're still sitting in conversations. You're still having meetings with him.
A township manager just like
Believe me, that's a lot embellished.
Really? Because I drove by earlier and saw all the cars at his office.
Today?
I've drove by the township building and seen your cars there when nobody else is there.
Mine?
Both of you.
No, not today.
Ma'am, I wasn't in the township office today, ma'am.
I'm not
Really?
saying today.
Really?
I said I drove by earlier, saw all the cars down at the office and stuff where you are, whatever that may have been. And I've driven by on days, because I literally work right up the road here. Even when I didn't work right up the road here, I drove this road a lot. And I've seen your vehicles at the township office. Nobody else is there.
If supervisors would do their job and go into the office and see what's going on, we wouldn't be in the mess. Not that we're not gonna get out of this mess, we are. Watch.
we need to hire
Yeah.
a manager, and that will release a lot of this extra.
Just
training.
watch. A little patience.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We inherited, this board inherited the biggest mess.
You want to talk respect, but you're not giving it to us because you want to cut it. You want to say township supervisors need to come and do their job. I've heard when township supervisors have been in the office to do their job and stuff, but here's the thing. They also have jobs that they have to be at too, and when they have to be there, they're there. They can't be there at their own free will and leisure because they have a life and a family at home to support. Now, I understand you've done your time, you've worked, you're retired, maybe you're not retired, I don't know. But I guarantee you, you're not working 7 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever the case may be. You have free time to go over there all the time, have your little chats when everybody else has to be at work. You can roll your eyes and
I'm not
turn your
rolling,
lips.
I'm not rolling my eyes.
I
I'm
just
see- I'm see-
watched you do it.
71 Quarter Road, you are rolling your eyes. Come on. Let's have a vote for your job again. How's that?
Yeah, let's take a vote tonight for the chief of police.
Yeah.
You don't have to put it out there to advertise it.
Whoever's
Birdsboro made a new police chief over there in 2 weeks. They stepped right up. They stepped right up.
What's to say we can't do that?
I think we owe it to the other applicants
think
to.
so.
I don't think
You don't know
we
nothing.
don't owe
You
them
don't owe
anything.
anything.
We owe this man.
Don't get responses.
The man who
Okay,
served
okay.
us for years.
Okay, you have, this young lady has the
man
floor.
that my daughter,
What did
a
you
first
say?
grade student, looks up to every single day. It's the favorite part of her day. When she walks out of school and she sees him, she runs over, she gives him a hug. She doesn't come to me. She sees me all the time. She gets to see him once a day. Not even once a day, every week. But it is a highlight of her day, and I can tell you this much. They have gone into that school. They've had lunch with these kids. These kids know that they can trust this man. These kids know what it is to look up to a man and have an example set as to what they should be like. These kids, I guarantee you, you let us bring our kids in here, you would have to have this meeting out in the freaking lawn because you wouldn't be able to have enough room. These kids want this man. They don't want to see him gone. This isn't just about adults. This isn't about your personal opinion. You have an entire township of people and families who want one thing, and you couldn't care less what we want.
Can you say what you said?
I'm sorry, Rachel, 419 Furnace Road. You keep going back to saying that the applicants deserve a fair chance. People apply to jobs countless times, all the time. Don't hear a response. I've worked in HR. It takes months, and some people, we get thousands of applications for one job. One recruiter's not gonna call 1,000 people. So to say that they deserve a fair chance, yeah, sure. But they didn't need that chance in the first place because we already had the chief.
Thank you. Anybody else? Right.
My name is Lori Ketterer, 137 Oak Terrace Drive. I'm out here, first of all and foremost, to support Mr. Rimby as
Could you repeat your address? I'm so sorry.
137 Oak Terrace Drive.
Thank you.
Please don't show up a badger.
No.
I'm
For the minute.
Just kidding. Just
I'm
kidding. So, first of all, I support him wholeheartedly to be our chief, and everything has already been said. But there's another thing that I don't want to be brushed under the carpet. I was here last week. The first comment from somebody or question from a citizen was regarding our office hours for our township building. It was clear and blatantly a response that was a lie, and it was
What was the
exposed
response, if I may ask?
that the office was open.
The office is open 8 to 4.
Okay, let me, so you asked me a question, I answered it, so let me speak. So it's been determined that the office has not truly been open those hours. So my concern is, and I think the woman that was here kind of supports this, you have obviously a personnel issue in your office, fine. When that question was posed last week, it would have been a very simple response to say, hey, I'm sorry, we're having some personnel issues, the office has not really been able to be open, we're having a little trouble, whatever. You could have done that, not disclosing the privacy of the employee issues going on. But instead, a lie was told. What else are you two lying about? Because you two are the ones that responded. So if you can't be trusted to answer a simple yes or no question, are the office hours standing, and it was lied to about, what else are you lying to me about? I'm a constituent. I didn't place either of you here. I would never have voted for either of you. Hell would freeze over. However, you owe all of these constituents honest answers every time they ask you a question. So stop lying.
I provided an honest answer. I'm in that office every day.
Okay, but are the hours have not been open all of the time. Am I correct, Scott?
I believe you're incorrect.
Mr. Steve is not office staff.
Okay, but is
The
the
question
office
was, is
open?
the office open? Mr. Steve is a supervisor like 4 other people on this board. The permits are getting issued, work is getting done.
Still not addressing why we don't have office staff.
Okay, you have your follow-up comment?
Yeah, it got cut off totally fine, like I didn't mind, but I just had a couple other things. So the office isn't open Monday through Friday then, correct?
No, it is open, Monday through Friday, 8 to
Then
4.
why is he shaking his head no? Is the office open Monday through Friday? With actual staff, not Mr. Steve?
That wasn't the question.
That's the question. That's my question now.
Okay.
And I asked
Is the
Scott
office
Gullo.
open
Thank
time
you.
to time by the 2 gentlemen to my right? Absolutely. Are any of the paid staff that this township hired in that office other than this morning? No.
So correct me if I'm wrong, the lawyer said that there was an employee in there 3 days a week.
We have a part-time fiscal assistant.
Right,
been
but
2
were
weeks.
they there 3 times a week? This
In
week?
the last week, I don't comment on when people are there or not there, that's their
So
personal
answer's
business.
no.
But the
Thanks.
office is
Your
open.
attorney is saying no.
The office is open.
Your attorney just
So
sat there
it's
and
not
said
Monday
no.
through Friday?
Again, I think it was discussed last week, but I'm not, a lot was discussed. There is an investigation, that is confidential. So if you're asking questions about that, they cannot respond to that.
Yeah.
But they can just say yes or no.
So
The office is not been
Monday
open.
through
I'm
Friday.
not
But they're lying
asking
about
why
that, so what
someone's
else are
not
they
working,
lying
even
about?
though that lady made it very clear why you have no employees, which I don't know, very sweet looking old lady, don't know how anyone could speak to her poorly like that. it's very clear why you don't have employees. I understand that you can't answer for legal reason, that's fine. But like we said, yes or no, we don't need to be lied to, because that makes you look really bad, unfortunately. But, you know, that's fine. I'll skip that, because I would like to go back to what I was talking about Rimby earlier. So, you said that he had no interest in this position? Yes or no?
What I asked him, that's what he told me. He
That's
wasn't,
what you told, okay.
wasn't interested in playing at that time.
Okay, but people change their minds, obviously, which is totally fine.
he did.
So he's back. What did we say? 1.5 years he's been here. So let's put it in a hypothetical situation. How long have you been on this board, Mr. Bittler? Couple years? I'm unfamiliar. While?
4 years.
4 years? Okay. So let's just say hypothetically you were sitting in for someone. That's probably not how it works, but let's just say you were sitting in for 4 years. You've put your time, your commitment into this township. And someone else came along and was like, oh, I want this job now. They kicked you out and they put them there. Nothing else. I don't think you'd feel really good about that, would you? Yes or no?
That's a.
It's a yes or no question.
No, it's
Would
not.
you
You
feel
can't
good if
answer
someone
that
took your
question.
job?
You
Yes,
can't answer the
can.
question.
If I've been working at my job for 2.5 years. If someone came and took my job, I'd be pretty pissed off. So would you be mad, yes or no? It's a simple question.
There's no answer to that
I
question.
think there is. Scott, if someone came and took your job, you've been working there how many years? Would
We're
you be
talking-
upset, yes or no?
I don't need to answer that question, but
I know
I'd
you
probably
don't.
be a little upset.
But it's a yes or no question. I think someone who was, I've seen him all these places, working with children, supporting volunteers. What have you been, I haven't seen you doing anything. I don't see anyone posting pictures with you on Facebook saying how great you are. I see the complete opposite. And for you to sit here and just, I still feel like you're dismissing everyone.
Yes.
No matter how you respond, it's deflecting, it's going, oh, I can't answer that, we have all these other applicants. I don't care about the other applicants. That's not, like, we have something perfect. If you don't think it, that's fine, but your job isn't based on your sole opinion, it's on everyone else's opinion. Did she not say, we're technically your boss, so I think you should listen to us? I'm sorry if it's against what you think, but here's my question. If he became chief, would you fire him, yes or no?
That's not a question you can
Yes,
answer.
it is.
If he deserved firing, I would fire anybody. If he's earned his job and can
Do you
keep his
think
job.
he's earned his job after a year and a half? Why wouldn't he have?
I want to say this again, folks. What I'm committed to do, and have been since Chief Castle left, what I'm committed to do, and have been since Chief Castle has left, is to get us the best chief, which may or may not be Chief Rimby.
But we're
Acting
all
Chief
saying,
Rimby.
your bosses are all telling you what you have, and I don't think it's going through your ear. Like, I think right out.
Okay.
You haven't, I don't think you grasped that. I truly don't.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah. Do you have a list of what you're looking for in a chief?
I'm done, she can go, yeah.
Like, do you have,
There was something put out, I guess when the search first started.
And that
does
was
Jason meet that
said we're
criteria?
hiring.
What's that?
It said
Well,
we're
let me be
hiring.
specific about that. I commented on that before, and I'll do
Or
it
you were
again.
gonna keep
I'll
commenting
do
like
it
clearly,
again.
because you're not answering
Okay.
anybody's questions.
In
You
2024.
can't comment on anything, you deflect everything, you won't answer the question. We all just said, legality wise, I
I'll
don't
do
know
it.
that you would have to give these other people, promote Jason.
In 2024,
I'm in
are you gonna listen,
2026.
ma'am, or not?
I'm not, actually.
Okay.
Because you're not answering my question, so you're not listening to me. You're not listening to this young lady. You're not listening to anybody. Everybody here, there's other things that this young lady would like to speak about, but everybody here is here for this.
Well,
And yet no answers, like no answers. We're all gonna leave here tonight with no answers, is the bottom line. We're getting lied to about a building being open, where all these things are going, like why? Just why? Like this township wants answers. You're elected, we are the voters, we want answers. That's what we're looking for. And we're not getting them. So when you start listening, maybe we will start listening. Let's do it that way.
To answer the question about the qualifications, the post, I put it out on the township website. The job description was one that was approved by the former board, so former Chairman Smith was signed off on that, and those are the, I guess, like requirements that we put out there. So those were created before I joined the board. But
And has anybody looked at Jason's resume? I mean, I know Jason's resume, but has anybody else looked at his resume?
Yeah, I think the committee reviewed on Tuesday.
In your opinion, and I'm assuming you won't be able
I,
to say
I,
this,
I
but.
will not comment on
Right,
his
okay.
resume or anyone else's.
So with
Okay. I
his
can tell you-
experience, with his acting chief role and all that above, nobody is still willing to say, we should put this man as chief. Is that what I'm being told right now, that you're gonna interview all these candidates in the face of Jason Rimby, sitting here in front of all of us are here for Jason Rimby. We want him as our chief, we want him representing our community, we want him speaking to our children. He took the time out on Saturday to speak to my stepdaughter, who that is her mother back there, about her behavior in school. That's what Jason does. I've said a lot of what Jason does tonight, so tell me where you find a better quality candidate.
We'll let the process play.
I'm not just looking at you, sir,
We'll
like,
we'll let the process play out, ma'am, and
Right.
we'll
You already
go
know
from
who
there.
the chief is
I'm
gonna
gonna
be.
head out
You already have somebody.
because there's no answers to be gotten
that you
tonight,
had
so
come.
let's go.
You know who's gonna be the chief.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Everybody like rolling his eyes.
I'd like to continue the meeting if possible, sir.
Go ahead,
Would that be okay?
go ahead.
All right,
How long,
ma'am.
he was chief for a year and a
Have-
half. How long was he
Hold
with
on
the
a second,
department?
ma'am.
Oh, no, I'll wait, go ahead.
How long was he with the department? Not only the chief for a year and a half, how long has he been with the department? You worked yourself up the line, that's where he was. He worked himself up, he should be the police chief. You don't like him. And maybe he didn't apply for the job because you want to axe his ass. That's why. That's why.
Well, we don't like you. Maybe your ass needs
How about if everybody shows up at your house and we all protest? Don't call the police.
I got a question for the officer.
Hold on a second,
That's
sir.
right. No, he can go.
No, hold on a second. Your name and address, sir?
You know who I am.
Sir, we got a procedure here, if you could follow that.
It's for the minutes too.
Are you in the union?
I'm currently in the FOP union, yes.
You don't wanna get out of the union, correct?
I'm not gonna comment on that one.
Okay? If you're out of the union, you have nobody to back you up, and then he got you,
That's right.
okay? I'm just asking questions. I'm gonna ask you, Bittler, one question. I was told you stopped the officers from going up to the elementary school, because that's a waste of township money. They're up there to protect those kids.
That's not
They're
true,
doing
sir.
good school.
That is not true, sir. Have I
That's
ever
not
given
what I
you,
heard.
Chief, Acting Chief Rimby,
I
have I
know a
ever
lot of
given you
people
any
around here, you know
indication?
it.
Have I ever given you any indication not to go to the school? No.
Be honest.
He can speak.
Don't be afraid of him.
Yeah, he can, yeah.
That speaks.
Honestly, in the year and a half that I have been acting chief, Mr. Bittler, you have not come to me one time with anything. So no, you did
Okay,
not-
so
no, you
there's,
did not say anything.
there's your answer from the acting chief. You had a question next, or you had a comment.
Alyssa Lanza, 1813 Chestnut Hill Road. Okay. Mine is a very simple yes or no answer for everyone on the board. You, sir. Do you feel Officer Rimby has done a good job as acting chief so far?
I feel that he
Has he met his duty as acting chief so far?
I feel he has as good a chance as anyone to get.
Okay, that's not what I asked. Has he done a great job?
I am not going to corrupt the process.
That's not a corrupt process, it's a question.
It will, because everyone else is going for this job, and now I'm showing favoritism towards one guy versus another, and I'm not doing that.
Okay, you ma'am, do you feel he has done a great
I
job?
haven't had many interactions with him, so from what I see, I enjoy that he goes to the schools. I think that's great. I wish that when we were in elementary school they did that, but
stick to that, please.
yeah, but I think that is great, but I don't, as like chief and supervisor, we really haven't had any interactions.
Okay, fair enough. You, sir.
The question was, do I think he's doing a good job?
Do you feel he has met his duty as acting chief?
I think that to review an employee here is not appropriate, but I can maybe answer that in the negative to some degree. I believe that the police force overall is doing a good job. So is there room for improvement? Yes. Are there some things I'd like to see different? Yes. But overall, they're not,
And where does that start?
they're not bad.
Where does the improvement start?
It starts with the team, I think, but this is not the purpose, in my opinion, of tonight's meeting to review someone's job performance or not. there's a process in place.
But it really starts with Rimby also, because according to that paper that we all have in front of us, you guys are on the same level. You're not up here, and he's not down here. You're the same. And here's the thing, all of these people are speaking against you, and yet there you sit. Everybody's speaking for him, and yet we got all these applicants that we have to give a fair chance to. Somebody please explain how that makes sense to me. I mean, I'll wait. Okay, good. And back to if that is true about the school, please somebody look up and find where school shootings have happened with active police officers sitting out front. Because I don't know if you noticed what happened recently in Honeybrook, which is not very far away. I am a police wife, okay? That is my reality. You sit there on this board without a vest, okay? They wear their vests. And look at where our recent officers are. That is our reality, okay? He does everything he possibly can to protect our children. My child went to Robeson, okay? My 2 youngest children will continue to go to Robeson. I have never felt safer sending my children to school with the officers that you have, every single one of them. The fact that you do not think that he should get a chance way more than, forget the other applicants. You shouldn't even have posted the job. Rimby is chief. Everybody in the community has said Rimby is chief. What is the reasoning for having all of these other people? Because let's be honest, for a lot of people who don't know anything about the police world, where you say police officers can't be fired just because, that's a lie. Just so you know, okay? Especially if you're in the chief position and you don't have the FOP to back you. The moment that chief contract is up, if they don't like the way you're dressed to work that day, bye-bye.
That's correct.
That's it. Their career is over. Their family is over. And guess what? They get to go home and live their normal lives. I wouldn't want the position either when it was first put out. Would you? Because I wouldn't. If I was putting everything on the line and possibly losing everything that you're putting your life on the line and then providing for your family, I know I sure wouldn't. That's exactly what's going to happen. Especially if all of it said that you guys are not a fan of Rimby, which, again, that's great because a lot of people are not in favor of any of you either, and there you sit making decisions that nobody here agrees with. You sit there for your residents. That's what you are for. They have spoken. Everybody has spoken who they want to be chief. Correct?
Yep.
Yes. I don't know anybody who has said otherwise. So you sitting there saying, oh no, you can't just fire them, this and that. Okay, whatever, that's fine. He goes, has, what is it, you said a 1-year contract as chief?
The current contract, as I understand it, is a 1-year automatically renewing contract with maybe 30 different provisions in it. Once our solicitor looks at that and releases
Okay, so
it.
what happens after a year of him being chief?
What has happened in the past here at Robeson has been, it's been automatically renewed. The chief says more or less what kind of raise he might desire. It's a pretty good exchange and it's worked pretty good.
And if you would decide to terminate him for whatever reason, would he be able to fight that?
I'm sure he would do what he feels he needs to do. And in terms of,
But he would have to do that on his
in terms of terminating, if nobody is gonna be a leader or a supervisor if somebody thinks they're gonna get a guarantee, if somebody thinks they're not gonna get a job review, somebody thinks, it's a guarantee, it's just not gonna work that way. So yearly, that would be, my guess, that would be reviewed. And the history of this board and previous boards has been, I guess immediately before Castle was Chief Phillips. Immediately before him was Leonard Herb, as I recall. And they were, I'll get you in a minute, ma'am. I think he might have been first, unless you were. But, so they've generally automatically renewed. However, I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing my job as a public service. If anybody thinks I'm ever gonna sit here and give somebody a guarantee, it's not happening. Things change, people change. I understand, and we've heard what some in the, you know, what the audience has said. So we've heard you, there's a process, that's what's gonna happen.
So what exactly, like, I wanna know why you felt that you just had to give everybody a fair chance. It's not just guaranteeing him a job.
This was
It's
decided
clearly
in.
he's acting chief, so what's the
This
difference?
was decided in 2024, and I'm gonna make sure, in my opinion, that we open it up to everybody. We cast as wide a net as possible, we see what's out there, and I think that's what's in the overall best interest of the township. And if he is a successful candidate, then
What are you spending
he's
township
good.
money for?
Right, but but why? What is the difference between him being acting chief and
What
just
is the difference between
becoming
him
chief other
applying
than
for the job
contract?
and going through the process like everybody else?
But why does he have to when he's already earned his
Okay,
position?
I've explained it the best I can for now.
He's a lawyer, he's gonna run circles around it.
Again, how much does it cost to hire a chief?
Are you asking ranges of chief salaries?
What would be the difference between just adjusting his salary versus hiring an outside person? There's gotta be a difference.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
How much
La-
more money is
last-
the
last-
township spending hiring outside of the department versus hiring in the department? Nothing. Okay.
Yeah, because Dennis Castle, former chief, he's volunteering his time. I mean, we have the two board members who are volunteering.
No,
their
she's not
time.
asking for the
Okay,
cost
that's what
of.
I was saying.
Is that the cost
She's
you're
not,
asking?
she's not, no,
or
she's
the-
asking for the cost of a chief, not the cost of the committee.
Okay.
All right, so chief
Sorry.
chief ranges can be 100 to 125 to 150. Last year, that man made $187,000. I didn't say he didn't earn it or didn't have the hours. He got paid, I think within 10 days after Chief Castle left, he got paid at the chief's rate. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying $187,000. There was overtime in that. I understand all that. When we're shorthanded, I understand all that. But a chief is going to make less than that in this township.
So what? So what?
And that's okay. I'm
Did
only
that
stating
state cop
that.
take-
Sir,
did
you've raised your hand a
Did
number
that
of
state
times.
cop take a bullet for $187,000? Was you? You take a bullet in your back for $1 million?
Sir, you've had your hand up a number of times. Name and
Really?
address.
David Weld, 111 Proudfoot Drive. And a lot of things are being skipped over in this whole thing. There's 330 people who signed a petition, great. I don't know how many people live in the township. But I do understand one thing. That when you have a fiduciary responsibility, you get applicants and you gauge the applicants and you do the appropriate thing. There's a lot of people that don't have a voice in this room because they didn't sign a petition or whatever it is. But I have nothing against this gentleman. It doesn't matter to me per se. What does matter to me is that we should look outside and always make sure that we get the best possible person. And I think that is only reasonable for the residents of this township. That's my personal opinion.
Is that as a
The
resident?
next thing
I'm sorry,
is-
the question, is that as a resident or someone who rents from Mr. Bittler's office?
I was just gonna say, you
No,
want
it's a
to take
resident.
roll
It's a
too?
resident.
Wasn't sure.
Because I've had many disagreements with everybody involved. So, but the other thing that is, whether I talk to Chief Phillips, whether it's Castle, you can ask him specifically how I feel about things. Because he and I understand each other. We've known each other for decades. What I also understand is that in the past, with the past, you go into the fire departments and stuff like that. Gibraltar didn't respond when I had a fire at my house. Geigertown did. And Geigertown, it was an hour out. And I put the fire out myself in the middle of the night in February. And I still have the post up in front of my house, it's burned. And just by listening and talking with people and stuff like that, I said, why isn't Gibraltar doing its thing? Well, it's because behind the door is somewhere, somebody's deciding we should only have one fire company, we should do this, we should do that. Gibraltar is extraneous. Well, I'm sorry, been here for just about 40 years. I don't think Gibraltar Fire Company is extraneous. And I really think that they should be running calls. Now, there's a lot of people who feel that way.
So,
And to be honest with you, Mr. Rimby, if you're the best person, I want you hired. Period. I want you to interview. I want you to get what you want. Okay?
sir, you had your hand up? Anybody? I thought I saw a hand back there. Hold on, ma'am, I know you had your hand up. Yeah, sure.
I just wanted to go back to Ms. Fitz's comment about it being fair to the other applicants. When somebody said, why don't we just do a vote since obviously the residents.
How about if we
want
just be
this?
fair to all of the residents
One
of
person at a time,
Robeson
please.
Township? All the
She respected
well, everybody
you.
else does.
She respected you. You can respect her too.
Yeah, well, I'm saying, how about fair to the residents? There's no harm in having
Mr. Wells,
applications.
she has the floor.
Anyway,
Ma'am.
so my comment to that, to what you had said specifically about, now that you've opened it up to other applicants, it being only fair to actually interview them. I think that the township is pretty much speaking, I mean, by the support here for Rimby. I have hired and done hundreds of interviews, I'm a business owner. When I find the right person, all other interviews, all other applications cease. I think the township is saying, we found the right person, he's doing a great job, he's been doing a good job for the past year and a half. All applications should cease, all interviews should cease, and he should be hired.
Sir,
Protections also should be in his contract for termination, like other townships have that clause in their police chief's contract. So that should be something that would, that should get addressed. Yes, exactly.
you have something, sir? Did you have your hand up? We'll go over here. Hold on a second. I think you had your hand up.
Yes. Hi, my name is Adriana Gonzalez Perez. My street address is 518 West 3rd Street. I do apologize for switching the topic at hand. It is quite topic to discuss. But I did want to just discuss what I'm here for really quickly. I was under the impression that this would have been kind of like a one-on-one meeting, not with a lot of people, which is perfectly fine. The office was not open during the times that it was supposed to be. I was there Friday a couple weeks ago, no one answered the phone, so I went, no one answered. So then opened the door, anything like that, there was no cars. So I was finally able to get a hold of somebody. After calling multiple times, they said, come here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm here to talk about hosting a community event right here at Gibraltar Park. I think that it would be a great event for our community, have people there to celebrate end of school and summer and everything like that. And I just thought it would be a great...
This is under 6C.
We have other obligations.
Yes.
So.
So, again, I was under the impression that this wasn't going to be a big procedure here, so I did want to just bring it up quickly so that
Excuse
I can
me,
go to my
ma'am.
other obligations.
Excuse me 1 second. You're saying under 6,
Under the Parkside pop-up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so you're Parkside pop-up.
Yes, sir.
All right. You filled out an application,
I did.
right? And was that included all the information? I think there was a fee. We were checking on the date, were we not?
Yeah. The application has a lot of things in it that is not like contrary to what our normal lease would be. I mean, in one portion, she says She's gonna have about 50 people here, but she has 25 vendors coming. She's got 5 to 10 volunteers to assist and coordinate the event. There's a whole list of things here that are not necessarily conducive to what we normally do at the park.
Yes, so, if I may, I wanted to do something different. I mean, I see that there's a beautiful space. There's not a lot of, community events going on. So I thought it would be great use of space, of course respectful to the grass area and everything
What
like
was your
that.
proposed date?
June 6th.
And how many vendors will there be?
I was, hoping to be about 15 vendors.
All right, well,
And-
let us take a look again at your application, let us see if that date's open. And then I can, on the application is the callback number, correct?
Yes, and email.
Right, okay. So we'll take a look at that again, we'll revisit it. We won't out of hand reject it. I like new ideas. There's I like food vendors.
Yes, I, have a,
That's a good thing.
yeah, I have some food vendor that, makes great sandwiches.
Okay.
So,
Well,
in case
everybody write down a possibility of June 6th, but we're gonna get back to you. If we have your application, we'll get back to you.
Great.
Can you give us a date around what time, because she has, like brochures and things that she would wanna get out?
Meaning as soon as possible.
As soon as
That's what that means.
Yeah, because she also has the vendors that she needs to ask and get
It
together.
is a lot other, things
We might have a
that
few more questions for you. I'm gonna assume that you have insurance.
as I stated in the, letter, I'm willing to comply with any insurance that's needed and everything like that.
Okay.
I just wanted to have a moment to speak with you guys, cause I kinda just was rejected and didn't have anything, wasn't able to vocalize anything. I had a lot of stuff written down, but I feel like in person you can get a lot more information out of than just reading on a piece of paper. But again, it was just rejected. I wasn't even, contacted about it. I had to reach out multiple times because again, no one was answering the phone, nobody was there, stuff like that.
Well, I spoke to
So-
you twice on the phone.
I never spoke to you.
And I spoke to your mother, was on the phone at the same time.
Was that you?
It was.
That was good.
And you both were on the phone, and you didn't identify the fact that you were on the phone.
I did.
And I had to ask you.
No, you're correct. I didn't. I was gonna get there, but because she was talking, and I just wanted to verify, you know.
So we have
some
called you back.
conversation, but
We'll
I
look
was
at the
not trying to deceive you at all.
We'll look at the application and we'll try and get back to you.
If,
Okay, I appreciate that.
if June 6th doesn't work, would you be open to a different date? Just like if it was booked for some other reason?
Absolutely. I do want to use, I was hoping to use a space that like, when you drive in, to the parking area, just to the right of it, just that small kind of section
On-
right there.
So
Are
what
you
we're talking about
talking, like,
driving in is the one.
The Gibraltar Road side?
Yes,
Okay.
where Taco Bell is. Where Turkey Hill is.
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
And I do apologize. I'm not sure. I'm a 15-year vet, and also I've been in this community, not exactly Robeson, but in Birdsboro for over how long?
I think we're
40
15.
years. So we would respect the community and the park
Yeah.
as well.
I think, and then other things to consider too, just like that my brain goes to event stuff. So have like a rain date in mind too for your vendors when you
Absolutely,
book
and that's
them
just
and
kind
all
of,
that.
I just wanted to vocalize that, cause
Yeah.
again, I would love to sit down and have a meeting or something like that. I was just kind of, again, was shown no time of day. And if it's honestly, if it's not in your guys' agenda, that's perfectly fine. I have other places that may, love a community event,
Yeah,
that you guys may not. So
Thank
I
you.
would appreciate, a contact back within the next week then.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you so
you
much.
guys.
Sure.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay in time.
We're not paying any taxes. Not tonight.
It's all right.
Let's share records.
Coming in too.
Name and address.
Carrie Mounts, 2482 Hay Creek Road. So, solicitor, I'm coming for you. I don't know if the board knows the answer to this. So, our deputy, because he's not a tax collector in another township like we've experienced the last 8 years I've been here, does he have to be sworn in?
I believe so. I would have to make sure.
Can you contact me and let me know?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Ms. Mounts has secured a deputy tax collector, and she's in the process of getting that bond, or it has gotten.
So switching things over, the banking information was sent over today.
Does that mean we'll see you less, ma'am, or what does that mean?
No.
We don't want to.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna be around. I just wanted to make sure though, if we did need,
Yeah, you mentioned someone last week. I
It's
think.
Derek Kaiser, yeah, 1900 Cocalico Road is our new deputy. Again, he will be added to the bank account as of tomorrow, but I wasn't sure if he needed to be sworn in because prior to this, Derek stepping in as the deputy, we've had a tax collector from another township as our deputy. So they were naturally sworn in as tax collectors. So this is a kind of a unique situation
Can you
that
check,
I'm not familiar
can you
with.
check that out?
Yeah, and if you could let me know as soon as possible so we could take care of that. And then I do have the deputy tax collector form that we will have him fill out. And then I have to sign off that I'm deputizing him.
I have your bond here too.
Okay, great. So yeah, I was bonded and Derek is bondable too, so no one has to worry there. I do wanna say also that I think it's great that everybody's out here, in support of Jason. I think it's great in general that people are here to know what's going on in our community. I'll be honest, I don't get here as much as I'd like to get here as well, but I try because it is important. It's important for the board. Again, these board members were put here, so hopefully everybody, you know, supports what's happening here and, you know, hopefully we can figure this all out. We're very lucky to live where we live, guys. Very lucky. And I was told that, again, last week, I was put into perspective from a resident who had a fire in our community. And when she called me about taxes, she said, Carrie, we are so lucky to live where we live. And we are, guys. So we have to figure this out. And we do need a manager. Again, I've been around for 9 years now. We need a manager. Harold, I'm not gonna say that you don't know what you're doing, because you do. However, it's too much. It's a lot. I mean, again, I've been around, and you have to be getting tired. So,
You know, when, in June the 13th, they asked me to do that job. And the first thing I said was, you guys need to advertise because I don't wanna be the guy.
yeah, Harold needs to get out of that position again. I feel like the board would
He's not in
probably all
that position now. There is no manager, although we have cast the net out and we're certainly
We definitely need
working
a manager.
towards that.
Do you mind sharing the next tax collection day for
In
office day?
person?
Yeah,
Sure.
just for everybody.
Look at that.
I'll be there.
Somebody knows my schedule better than I do.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
That's okay. It is, as Mr. Steele said, April 17th. It's a Friday. So from 10 to 12, I'll be at the Township building. But guys, just remember, I do have the drop box, 2482 Hay Creek Road, keyed, and there's a camera on it. So again, snail mail is terrible. Drop it in there, stop and see me, make arrangements. I have somebody coming out tomorrow to my house at 9 a.m. to pay. I'm open to that because, again, snail mail is terrible. And another thing that just happened this week, 2 people called me and had my address, even sent me pictures, had Carrie Mounts, P.O. Box 13, Geigertown, on their envelope that they mailed in. It was returned as not able to be delivered. First person that called, I was like, maybe not. Second person called, and I was like, can you send me pictures? And it 100% happened. My address is P.O. Box 13, Geigertown, PA 19523.
It seems to happen a lot with Geigertown Post Office.
I don't know what's going on.
The Geigertown Sewer Authority sends out bills and they get them back, same thing.
And I brought it to the postmaster's attention and no explanation, but if you guys get it back, bring it to me, call me, send it to me, pigeon it to me, I don't know, but thank you.
All right, anybody else?
You know, I have.
Hold on one second. I thought I saw his hand 3 times. I will
No,
not forget you.
I'll
I will not forget you.
I'm here.
Name and address.
Horse, 1339 Old River Road. Been a resident of Robeson Township for 29 years. What I'm about to talk about is a hiring process, not just for the chief's job, but across the board. I've sat in a lot of these meetings over the years. The hiring process is not a popularity contest. I know Mr. Rimby for a while. Him and I have had several interactions. I'm considered a friend. If he applies for the job and gets it, God bless him, because I like him. But over the years, and I've seen people sit on that board that have hired people because they like them. Joy Bridenstine, I wish she was still here, because you can go back to the YouTube video when I gave everybody a copy of the Constitution. Because she said Well, we hired that person because we like him, not because he's qualified. Well, I used to hire people too. I hired people I really didn't care for because they could do the job. A friend of mine was running for public office. He said to me, "You're gonna vote for me, aren't you?" So I'm gonna tell you who I'm voting for. He said, "Well, you don't like the other guy, do you?" I said, "No, I really don't care for the other guy." When the smoke cleared and the other guy got the public position, my friend George says, "Did you vote for me?" I said, "George, I don't tell you who I voted for." He goes, "Come on, who'd you vote for?" "I voted for the other guy." I said, "Well, you don't like him, do you?" I said, "I don't care for him, but I think he can do the better job than what you can." So when it comes to hiring people, it's not a popularity contest. I mean, I have an associate's degree in police science, criminal justice. I worked for the Pennsylvania Department of Justice for 6 years. In the hiring process, I've seen chiefs been hired in other townships. I know another township in Montgomery County. I know the officer was there for 25 years. He was sergeant. He didn't get the promotion. They brought another chief in from Conshohocken because it's not that he had better qualifications, he had more experience. That's also, if you hire somebody that, let's say the police chief's making $115,000 a year, and then all of a sudden you hire somebody for 180, now taxes might have to be raised to make up that difference. So these are the things that people have to actually think about. I think Chief Rimby's doing a great job, acting Chief Rimby. Like I said, I had interactions with him quite a few times over the past couple of years, haven't I, Chief?
Yes, you have.
We've always come to an agreement. We always had a good rapport with each other. And if you are, through the process, if you're the police chief, you are the police chief. I know you have a good background. I know that you're qualified, but there is a process. That's all I have to say.
Hold on, now this fellow, this is your first time.
Yes, Tyler McClyman, local business owner here, been here 20 years. Some of you may know me here in the room. Previous Chief Dennis Castle, I've known him for years. I thought he did a great job here. Very personal, helped me on many different occasions. And I can say, like with the present police force, it's been really nice. I know I often get in the office at 6:30 in the morning. I get a little card in my door, says, "Hey, we surveilled your property." It really makes you feel safe. It's not something I ever asked for, but it's like, it just gives you that comfort level, and that I feel like with acting Chief Rimby in there, that's been something that's been really nice. So, I'm really, really proud of that. I guess the one thing that would concern me the most, like if I was actually applying for the chief position myself, would be protection. And I think Mr. Bittler did make a good point. Like you do need to have checks and balances. There has to be an out if there is an issue. But on the other hand, like if I'm coming in here and I'm the best candidate and I'm gonna ask myself, do I want to take that job? There needs to be some kind of protections, I think, for that chief. So and that's just, I know I take care of a lot of chiefs. I know there's differences between townships and boroughs and cities and that kind of thing. And it's different in townships, but I do think like as a community, that's maybe something we could look at would be, what protections are we offering that chief position?
I gotta get
Because
dinner.
that would be a concern for me if I was gonna take the job. But I think I'm just here, for Officer Rimby. I think he's done an awesome job. I think he made some good points. Just because he's popular doesn't mean he'll do the best job. But I think he has been doing a great job. I think he deserves the shot. But me personally, like, if I were him, I'd be nervous if I didn't have protection. Like, that's kind of like the thing. I mean, and I don't know if it's why or not, but maybe that's why he was hesitant to apply for the job, because it's like his livelihood kind of on the line there. So, but I'm here to support him, and yeah, that's all I have to say. So thanks for your time.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Khan.
Hi, Tom Khan, 873 White Bear Road, prior township manager for almost 10 years. I got a couple questions. One, at reorganization, when 4 people were removed from different committees and replaced by people that never attended one meeting, what was their qualifications? And were they recruited?
Well, at the,
wanna know.
at the reorganization, we've literally been over this 3 or 4 times, and I'll do it 3 or 4 more times if you'd like. At the reorganization meeting, we took all of the people who expressed some interest, and.
Which I did.
Okay, and we evaluated that, and there's time for change, there's times for new people, there's time for people that attend meetings and don't attend meetings, and in your particular interest, I think I would
I
call you.
attended meetings continuously in this township, in this building, for 50 years.
All right, and in your
So
particular.
I have 50 years of continuous service to this township on various committees and the township manager. At reorganization, you never mentioned the people you were leaving out, only made a motion for the people that you wanted to put in, seconded and third by the two people to your right. And I told you at the end of that meeting, you had the right to do what you did, but it was shitty the way you did it, okay? So I question your judgment. Now, Harold, you fired a road crew worker.
Harold didn't fire
fire
any
anybody.
board, the board may have
I didn't
fired it.
fire-
And
I
I'm
didn't fire anybody.
I'm gonna
Okay.
respond to your comment or your question again. Now, you mentioned you were on 3 boards, that's.
Yeah, you took me off all
that's
3.
That's right.
That's-
It is time for change in this township. Change can take different directions and go different way, and new people came on the board. And it's just that simple. Go to the meetings, participate.
I
You can see.
did in
Good,
all the
good,
meetings, you
good,
know that. Look at my attendance record.
Good. So
And I
you're
was
not
current
out. You're
on
not out
everything.
anything. Look at
I
the,
was current
look,
on
you're not out
everything.
anything. You're not missing
You put
anything.
people in that had not been on one meeting of the committees that they were put on. I'm sorry, I know you're fine, it's not you, it's the way they did
Is he
that
fine? Is he
second thing.
fine? Is he fine? So
Okay, now
these
the-
appointments were made, and that's the way it works.
Well, the person that was fired on the road crew, how much did you make putting him back in the township, and what did it cost? 100,000, you're on record saying. We can play the tape back.
We can certainly play tapes back. If you're talking about, can you be specific? Are you naming names?
Well, you ought to know who you represented with the township better than I would.
So I didn't represent anyone, and I'm
Oh,
not
you
gonna.
did.
I did not, and I'm
Well,
not.
well,
And I'm not
how
going to
did
go
you
into
say
which
in the
clients my firm
township
represents
meeting
and don't.
That it was $100,000
Our
settlement.
township has a history of improper hirings and firings and questionable acts.
That's
and
what we're here about.
And that's going to get
That's
straightened.
the reason
And that's going to
we're
get straightened
in the
out.
audience, because the way you
And that's-
hire and fire people.
That's going to get straightened out.
No.
This has a history.
I don't think it is the way you treated me. I don't think that's
You-
gonna
you
happen.
have your opinion, sir.
Why on the reorganization meeting, we didn't have a lawyer present? That meeting was run without council present on a reorganization. When you made some of those motions, I cringed.
Okay.
I literally did. I mean, I sat in that chair for 10 years as manager, and I offered my services, but hey, what do I know? I'm an old fart.
I'd just like to clarify, Mr.
Thank you.
Bittler stated that we all reviewed the people that wanted to be on committees. By all, did not include myself or Mr. Rhodes. There was no discussion prior to reorg of candidates
Well, that's
or
what
who
I'm
we
saying.
feel. We were
It's run by
we were
him.
just told who's going to be put in these positions. So
No,
we
there
did
was
not
a,
review.
There was a vote on who's put in positions,
Well, of course there
and,
was.
and that's the way it works.
I gotta get out of here.
That's the way it works.
I had
Any,
enough.
anybody else want to make a comment?
I just want to make a real quick comment to, about the gentleman that in front of me, what he said. I 100% agree with you, and I don't, and had Rimby not been acting chief for a year and a half, that statement I feel would have been 100% correct. It's not a popularity contest, but in my opinion, Rimby has already proven himself, he's already had the job, he's already been doing the job. There should have been no reason to bring any outsider in. So I don't feel it's a popularity contest. I feel, in my opinion, he's already earned the job, he's already been doing the job. This should never have been a discussion. There should have been protections put in place for him, and he should have had the job.
Thank you. Anybody else? Ma'am?
Jennifer Fryer, Boontown Road. How do we get speed limit signs on Boontown Road?
Excuse me?
How do we get speed limit signs on Boontown Road?
We'll submit that question to our engineer next week and try and get the traffic slowed down.
And Ridgeway? While we're at it.
Ridgeway and Boontown Road. So we'll get back to you. Anybody else before we move on?
So I guess there's gonna be a big protest outside your house with 1,000 people.
I would just like to add, it's 8:33, and we're on item number 2.
Well, I'd like to add also that this is the public discourse that we have, and everybody's had a chance, or will continue to, if anybody else has anything to say. So it doesn't matter how long we take.
That's not what I'm saying, you cut me off, one at a
Okay,
time.
I'm sorry. Here's a young lady that wants to talk.
No, you're okay.
No, go ahead, I'll finish up.
No, absolutely, you're fine.
Well, okay, I was just gonna state that, the people up at this table, this role comes with clear responsibility to show up, do the work, be accountable to the people you serve, and right now it's not happening up here. We're seeing consistent failure to even meet basic expectations of the positions up here. It reflects poorly on them and the entire township. At some point, this stops being about effort and starts being about capability, and it's not being fulfilled. So, for the good of the community, Mr. Bill, I'm going to request your immediate resignation from this board.
I guess the answer is no.
Noted.
No to anything. If you have something meaningful to add, go ahead.
You asked about change.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I said you talk about change. The township is asking for change.
All right.
Noted on the record, he refuses to uphold his position or step aside and let somebody capable of doing it. So,
Anybody else before we move on with the agenda? Ma'am, I'm sorry.
My name is Cassie Ketter, 1831 Golf Course Road. I just wanted to verify real quick if it's okay. When Chief Rimby or Acting Chief Rimby, my apologies, had stated that he was not interested in the position, did you guys try to counter or see why, or maybe offer him anything at all, or did you just take Harold's opinion of him saying no and decide
Jeff
not to
also
move
told
forward?
us the same thing.
He had also had that discussion with Jeff Rose.
But did you guys discuss internally whether or not you were going to offer him anything, or because I know in at least corporate, because I'm in corporate America, if you want a candidate, you give a good proposition. You try to go for them. You don't just immediately take no for an answer immediately. I'm just wondering, did you guys attempt at that point in time, and how did it get to that? Oh yeah, let's just put it up for anybody to apply.
The process that was done immediately after former Chief Castle's resignation, if you will, was to put the mechanism in place to advertise and to outsource and everybody was welcome. And then by failure of prior boards, that's part of the problem here, by failure to get proper staffing, proper people in proper places doing proper jobs, that's the problem, folks. By failure of those prior boards is why this is now. I have no idea why, when other supervisors were here, and the man has the job for a year and a half, if he's doing fine, and I'm not saying he is or he isn't. But you need to ask those people who didn't hire him in that year and a half, and didn't even continue the process.
because come May primary elections, we knew what the 2026 board would look like.
Didn't even get the job done. Now you have something else. The two of you, I don't know who raised their hand first, so you decide.
Were you on those previous boards?
Which board?
Any
Absolutely, absolutely. And most of my opinions have been ignored, and now we end up where we are.
Right now. Do you understand
Okay,
that? Do you
All right.
understand that?
I understand what you're
Okay,
saying.
and then another, we had someone say about the hiring and firing, you said that needs to be changed from the past few years. From what I understand, you've been here for the last few years, yes or no?
I've been here for 4 years, and now the problems are gonna get started to get solved.
After what happened, why is it starting now? What about the other 4 years?
Because I think the board is much better constituted now than it was for the last 3 or 4 years, at least consistently. I have colleagues that appoint people that the voters reject, and the meetings turn into circuses. And this is not a circus, this is public discourse, and when you speak one at a time, I'm willing to sit here all night and hear you. And that doesn't mean we agree. I took an oath, and that oath is an oath of fidelity, and I'm gonna do the best job as I see it. And that's the process that was outlaid. And if that, sometimes people agree, sometimes they don't agree. The end run is we want the same, the best chief, and I'm willing to say there's 15 applicants and we'll try and pick the best one. If you're head and tails above, if you look at those YouTube videos, okay, you're gonna hear me say on there that any person within the department has a bit of a leg up. Nobody quotes that. They quote what they want to quote. You want to hear me say he has a leg up. And the reason he does is he knows the people.
Chief, Dennis Castle, did he pick him when he resigned, yes?
No.
So why is he shaking his head yes if you're saying no?
Chief Castle has on record that he made Jason Sargent to be his replacement. That was stated in a public meeting.
So then why are you saying no? Can I ask
Because that's not what Dennis relayed to me.
Okay, so if the previous
The
chief.
board appointed him, not Dennis Capel.
Okay, well, I'm hearing two different things now, so this is why this is really
Dennis Castle
difficult to
can't
trust the
appoint him the acting
township.
chief.
Let me
No,
be
but
clear.
he served him up on a platter for you.
But,
And
okay,
you're throwing it in the
he-
trash because you think there's something
he
better out there.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Suggested him as the current chief, last year, when he was the current chief, or whenever he was, Castle, he said, I think Jason Rimby would make a good acting chief. Is that not enough evidence? Because I fully understand what he was saying about how it's not a popularity contest. That's not what it's even about. I feel like half the people in this room could hate this guy and they'll still say, oh, he's been doing it for a year and a half. He was appointed by the previous chief, allegedly, apparently. I don't understand how the qualifications aren't being met. And I understand people should get a chance, but I don't think we owe that to him. I think you, as the board, owe it to us to give what we want and what he very clearly deserves. And I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
if you don't
Anybody,
understand that.
ma'am, back to you.
I was not finished earlier, I'm sorry. I just also wanted to ask as well, one statement when we were talking post-petition, you had mentioned that you said that you were not interested in making any provisions to the current
I'm not interested in removing the provision that prohibits our chief of police from being in the same union. That's a non-starter for me, and it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
At least with my vote. If the colleagues outvote me, then they do.
No.
Not gonna happen. It's not in other contracts. It's never been in this contract. It doesn't need to be in this contract. If you earn your job and you're good at it, and he may not be, if he is a successful candidate, then you get it. We've not had a problem in this township before. We haven't. The other chiefs have left with various reasons to the good of the cause. So we've not had a problem.
Over 30 years.
Yeah, no, my other follow-up question to that was just, would that be something that you would be up to discussing, not necessarily putting them on the FOP contract? I understand their legal had mentioned you can't do that, that is absolutely fine, but is that a negotiable item? Is what I just would really like to know. It doesn't need to be, I'm not saying, no, he's tenured, he's
Is the question the union provision?
No,
What's the
just protection,
Well,
just not being.
when we get into protection, the protection is do your job. Okay, you get reviewed yearly, you get a bonus if we agree and we budget it. That's the protection that you get. Everybody else has signed that contract. Did you ever ask yourself, why do we need more protection? Why do we want that?
Because supervisors that don't like them.
Excuse me?
Because they're supervisors that don't like them, so they need that protection.
So you may
if you
feel,
don't
you
like
may,
what he's
so you may
doing-
feel that, or you may think that, but I don't agree, ma'am. I don't think most of the supervisors base a chief of police decision
I
on
don't
who they
think
like
most
and who
do.
they don't like. I just don't believe that. I think they pick, generally speaking, most people pick the best person. You may disagree, but most people pick
You
the
have
best
the best
person.
person.
Okay, that's what you said.
I also.
That's what everyone's saying.
Okay.
Sorry. No, it's totally fine.
I don't know about
My-
everyone, but the process will go forward.
Majority.
Listen,
My-
years ago, they tried to get rid of the whole police department here. Okay, where there were hundreds of us out at
Well,
Birdsboro
that's not
Elementary School.
happening.
No.
That's not happening. Under my watch, the police department will be
They
here.
tried to get rid of every one of them here.
That was Bob Dees. That was his
Whoever it
baby.
was, they
That
tried to get rid of the whole
That
police
was his
department.
baby.
And
We had
my
1,000
Hold on
people
a
out there at
second.
the elementary.
I'd like to
I
give
was
you the
there.
floor back or let you finish, but
And my point is not to be disrespectful. I'm just like thinking from like a standpoint, again, I'm a very rational corporate person. How can you expect a chief in current state, like, we have gotten way worse as a country. Like, there's no way denying that at the current moment. I may not be in the right floor to say that, but if there is a shooting, if something happens and acting chief Rimby or the future chief needs to be out there at a school, mass situation, that still would give you guys a cause. Like, if he acted, let's just say, like, he chose to pull his gun out, he chose to shoot the shooter, that in the current contract, you guys could still use that necessarily to get rid of him, even if it was the right scenario. My thing is, I just would like to see, as a resident of this township, just for more protection, that he is not at will, more or less a just cause. If you guys have a perfect reason, a validated reason, I think that that's fantastic to get rid of him. But I would like to see that it is no longer at will, just can be voted off. There needs to be probable cause. And that comes for any chief coming in. I mean, I hope they're watching this, like that's what they're up against. Other townships have protections and the addendums and things to be added in.
And I think it's something that we can all
That's all I'm
discuss,
asking,
yeah.
is I just asking if
I
you guys
hear you.
would consider that.
Yeah.
If that is up for negotiation with this chief contract, no matter who it is. Are you willing to negotiate that facet of it? Or would you like to keep it at will? 1 year, like you said, decide to renew or
it's
expire.
not truly at will when you understand what I consider other protections in various chiefs, various police, things that are afforded to them. I don't think it's truly just at will, especially when it's an automatically renewing 1 year contract. But would this board look or entertain anything? Perhaps, but we'll get to that after we have a contract resolved, at least that we're gonna present, and we pick a candidate. That candidate could say, well, I don't like that contract. I don't know that that's likely, but I would imagine that could occur. But let's not get the cart ahead of the horse. That's what we seem to wanna do.
I just think it should be in there initial presentation. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just think that for
I don't
anybody
consider
to do
you
their
disrespectful.
Yeah, I think you're being very respectful.
I don't
anybody
think you
to
are.
do this job in this township, I really just think, like, we don't know what we're up against, where we could be in a year from now, and the state of our township could be entirely horrible. We could have more crime going on. Hypotheticals. But
Hopefully
how
not.
can we, absolutely, how can we expect whoever is chief to feel like they are protected by our board if they choose to do something on behalf, like, of themselves, like, they need to?
Yeah.
Like, at current state, it's not, I just think that's a very basic form of protection to
My,
be.
Okay,
my
we'll-
position is that it's so hard to hire a good person, and I think we're going to go through the process, and I know that we have the petition, we have all of the information about acting Chief Rimby, and that will give him a leg up in this process, but it is such a pain to hire people that I don't think any of us, I don't want to speak for everybody, is in the business of trying to, we're going to keep hiring employees, because in our family business too, I just want to hire somebody and keep them forever, because, you know,
Right.
it's just easier for
Assuming they
everybody.
do their
As
job.
they do their job, you know, that,
Correct.
but
Which would be just cause.
that would be the goal.
If there is a just cause to get rid of them, they are
Yeah.
not performing, you have the results to prove that they
Yeah.
are not performing.
Like a proper evaluation.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, even in HR corporate,
I mean, you still
Yeah.
have to truly document, present, have a reason to fire an employee. I mean, it's just, that's all I'm stating is, I know the police officers are protected. I just want to make sure the chief knows that they can make decisions without ramifications of potentially getting fired. That may be for the better of the
All
group.
right, well, thank you. Anybody else? We have a full agenda tonight
I
yet?
have one more question. Where does he go, if he's not appointed a new chief, where does he go? Does he go back to being sergeant?
He's still a sergeant. That's never left.
Oh, that's right, that's right, he is a sergeant.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so he goes right back to where he was.
Any other questions? If not, we're gonna move on.
Thank you for
Th-
everybody who
Thank you.
spoke.
We have correspondence, Roman numeral 3. You're all aware your statements of financial interest are due. Acting Chief Rimby, take it away with Roman numeral 4.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda I have is the patrol car repair.
Do you
I
want
have,
to, should we wait till people?
No, wait a minute.
Okay, keep going.
We can
Sorry.
hear you.
I have two estimates. One was for $336.58. The other one was for $354.94. Which would the board like to go with?
Cheaper.
Is cheaper
Okay.
better in this case?
So are they both body shops or,
They're both, one is Excellence Automotive, the other one is Creative Customs.
Who's cheaper?
Excellent Automotive.
Have we used them before?
That's who
they do the
does
maintenance?
maintenance on all of our vehicles.
Then I'll make a motion to approve the repair for $336.58 with its excellent auto.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on the motion? If not, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you, Board. The second thing I have on the agenda is recently we switched from Verizon Air Cards, which had a cost of $128 a month, to FirstNet Air Cards, which has a cost of $80 a month. So it's saving us $48 a month by switching those air cards. We will receive one last bill from the county, and after that, we will just be with FirstNet, who does our cell phones and FCTs. Next thing I have on my agenda is for the grant resolution. So I have some good news for everybody tonight, board and residents. So last fall, we applied for the category 4 LSA grant to purchase new tasers and fully outfitted firearm optics. I'm especially proud of our police administrative assistant, Amanda, and her recent accomplishment. So she was able to secure $56,158 in grant funding for both projects. In her first year alone, she has already saved the township residents more money than the cost of her salary. In my opinion, like, this is what it's all about. It's about working together so that team can do better and serve our residents and strengthen our community. We need to have teamwork to be able to accomplish things like that. So thank you for that, Amanda, for the $56,158. Then the last thing I just have to say, I want to sincerely thank everyone who took time out of their busy lives to attend this meeting and express support. It means a great deal to me to know that members of this community value the work that I have done. Leadership positions require the right environment to succeed, and that's something I am thoughtfully considering. I remain committed to serving this community with professionalism and integrity, and I'm grateful to be a part of the community and that cares so strongly about its police department in the future. So thank you, everybody, for being here. That's all I have.
Conclusion?
Oh, we have to sign the
Resolution?
resolution.
No, we have to pass the resolution. I have resolution 2026-10 for the LSA grant in the amount of $17,226. I'll make a motion, we approve that resolution.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Although, any discussion on that motion? If none, all those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Does that conclude the police?
No.
Now we have the other.
No, we have one more.
Another resolution.
2026-11.
We have resolution 2026-11. This is for $38,932 for the tasers that we're looking to get. The first one was for the firearms, this is for tasers.
I assume you're making that motion?
I'll make that motion that we approve resolution 2026-11.
Ms. Fix, are you seconding it again?
Yep. I
Any
will second
discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
it. Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you, board.
Is that it? Is that it for the resolutions on the police?
That's it for the resolutions
All right,
under
so
the police.
we have expenses to pay, is that correct?
We have what?
We have expenses, is that true?
We do.
Okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to pay that list of expenses that we have.
I'll make the motion that we approve the bills.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on any bills, anything? If not, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yeah.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. What can you tell us about the treasurer's report / sewer aging report?
It was in the treasurer's report you have, the sewer aging report, it was distributed last Thursday.
Does anybody have any questions on the board or anywhere else on those two reports? Okay, if not, we'll move on to Roman numeral 6. And there are no administrative comments under the chief of police. Is that correct?
Yes.
Item B, what can you tell me about staff interviews, new hires?
There were some applications come in, some for admin, or a couple for manager, and we also got some in for public works. And Barry has those guys covered under his section, but I would like to get interviews done so that we can hire people. So that
You can do that quite quickly, correct, Barry?
What's that?
Barry, I was talking to Barry, you can do that quite quickly with the interviews? We'll get to your section in a minute. So what do we have for tonight on new hires?
Like I said, we interviewed some. I think you probably should talk about it in executive, what kind of offers you might want to make them. And
So we've got
what
some
they're-
interesting looking candidates, the way I understand. We'll talk about making a financial offer in the terms of their contract with our attorney in executive session, take action when we come back in session perhaps. Okay, Parkside pop-ups.
We just.
Who wants to do Parkside pop-ups on June 6th? Raise your hand. Why not?
I would like to hear about it. I would like to know more
It's
about
Why
it.
not?
graduation,
As long as
it's
they
the
don't,
finale.
one of the issues could be, and
For
what's
me,
our,
it was a logistical issue.
what says our park and rec man?
I say I'm hungry, so bring in the food trucks.
It says he's hungry, all right. All right, well, we've had a few occasions with vendors tearing up the place on occasion, particularly with foul weather. But the insurance bond sometimes is interesting, sometimes it's suspicious, if you will. But we will get back to those people.
And I think if we give a rain date, that might help with the weather.
The flag box drop-off, can you get that to the township?
Yep, I'm coordinating with you next.
Okay, so.
We gotta pick a time.
We'll decide where that goes then, we'll take a look.
I was thinking right outside the admin door there where the mulch is, just smooth out the mulch and pop it there.
Yeah, let's take a look at that once it comes, we'll see what it looks like.
Is that undercover?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an overhang there. I thought it would be the best place to protect it.
Yep, just put it on paper, so I can.
Yeah.
All right, the partial collapse, we've had an issue in the township, and we don't have as perhaps clean-cut process that we'd like. You want to elaborate, Mr. Steve?
Well, I got a call that the house partially collapsed at the semi-detached. So I actually didn't go up and look at it right away. I made the assumption that it was the main roof and both halves were in peril. Unfortunately, I tried to get a hold of our code enforcement people to do an assessment. We do not have a 24 access number to them.
All right, well, we'll work on that till next month. Hopefully there aren't too many more emergency issues, although I would guess we could kind of count on something happening sooner or later. So let's get a little better, tighter procedure, if you will, on that. That's item E. Item F has to do with the purchase of playground mulch. There are 2 work days scheduled for March, correct? Pick up sticks?
Yeah, March 23rd is park cleanup, and then April 11th is mulch, putting mulch.
Okay, so we're calling all willing workers here for March
23rd.
March 23rd. If we can get the sticks up before the grass grows, it helps. It helps our mower. We are going to be talking about that at some point, Barry, with keeping the parks kind of clean and keeping them well mowed without paying somebody to pick up sticks when we can all do that. We also need a motion for the playground mulch. We've done that pretty much every year or every other year. Is that correct?
Yeah, and if anybody's wondering, the playground mulch has to be certified. So that's why we pay a lot more for it than we would a normal mulch. So I'll make a motion that we authorize the purchase of, I think it's 100 cubic yards of mulch for Ridgeway soils.
Correct.
At the cost of $2,900.
I have a second on that motion.
I can second it.
Seconded by Ms. Fix. If there's no discussions, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. All right, on the supervisor's report, Supervisor Rhodes is not here this evening.
Yes, but he is doing a test on the database that he created.
Mr. Rhodes was creating a database to help us more efficiently manage our on-lot septic systems, as I recall. We're mandated under a number of laws, including Clean Streams Act, to require people to pump their septics regularly. It's not something we dreamt up, it's something that essentially gets handed down. We need to have a plan in place. There are provisions within that ordinance, within that way we operate, that if somebody does not use it, like a single lady or something as much, there are waivers, but it's another attempt to try and keep systems functioning better. We've got a lot of sometimes pushback or feedback on that, but our hands are a little bit tied. So Mr. Rhodes has taken the lead, and I've taken the lead on the next issue a little bit. Right now, we're on a month-to-month kind of recurring lease with the sewer authority. Our 2 newest sewer authority members I see in the audience today. We will at some point reduce that lease. I had to a more formal writing. We had a conflict with our prior legal counsel representing both boards. The sewer authority board is a different board and has its own solicitor, as we do. Now they can talk a little bit. There's one caveat that I would talk to Mr. Steve about, and that's we have some sewer activity, installation activity that's going to be progressing through the township that I think is going to be, need to be addressed. And it may need to be addressed in that lease, depending. So we'll talk about that moving forward. We now come to the fire companies, item Roman numeral 8. We had the reports from Gibraltar, and do we have Geiger Towns?
Yeah.
That's in this packet, correct?
Yep.
All right, I took a look at that. Anybody have any questions on any of the reports?
Are there any representatives from the fire companies here?
If not, they are working on I understood, seafood dinner. Is that correct? Do you know anything?
For Geiger Town?
Yes.
Yeah, we've had 3.
3 seafoods. That's something new, and how did they go?
First one was a little slow. We learned some things. Second one, we couldn't keep up. There were so many people there.
What kind of seafood do we have?
Oh, every menu changes. We have shrimp, fish, crab cakes.
All right, well,
different soups, but next tomorrow and next Friday, 5 to 8 p.m. is our last 2.
and that's eat in or take out, correct?
Both.
All right, for those out there,
There's
anybody?
other options in seafood.
Okay, for those out there that are supporting the fire companies,
I think this Friday is the last week for dinners at Gibraltar, but they're still gonna do the sandwich sales.
Got a lot of dinner plans on Friday.
okay. I think we've made a motion. To the extent we did, I'll make a motion, we accept those fire company reports. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Roman numeral 9, we have draft minutes, has anybody had, and then we have a sewage enforcement report and a building inspector's report. We've all had a chance to take a look at those, or no?
I'll make a motion, we accept the reports in our possession.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mr. Gullo. All those in favor, Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Let's start again. Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. That includes all of Roman numeral 9. Is that correct?
I believe so.
All right. For those of you who don't know, we meet the second and third Thursdays of the month. Previously, the second Thursday or the first meeting of the month would be known as a workshop, where theoretically, we would be working through other things and things that we could approve at the next meeting. A number of years ago, I felt that it would be more efficient to eliminate what business we could, particularly all stuff that we agreed on, and keep the meetings moving quicker. I'm never in favor of eliminating a meeting, typically. You know, closing for inclement weather is one thing, and, you know, if there's absolutely no need, but the township has a lot of needs, at least in my estimation. And there'd be no thought on my part of changing that. There is some thought of the expenses associated with that. And where I'm going with that is you're gonna see a seat missing because our engineer's not here. He gave his complete report on Thursday. I'm not sure if that's last Thursday. I'm not sure if that's appearing online. Ms. Fix, is it?
I believe, Mr. Schmucker, you're here to talk about the Brookside School?
Yeah.
Just here to see if you have any questions on it.
I'm not done, Mr. Steve.
Okay.
So, what we're gonna do is, with respect to the engineering and our legal, if it's possible, we may start combining or having them at only one meeting. I've said previously that we've spent a little more than, and created more obligations than in the long run this is gonna be able to support. So I'll be anxious to see as we start the end of this year, heading into the budgeting process, I'll be anxious to see how that plays out. I had preliminarily just mentioned it in passing to Ryan Road, our engineer, and he's certainly game for that. What I don't want to happen is if a resident comes out, like Brookside perhaps, was Brookside right? I'd like the public to be accessible to maybe get some answers. And as it relates to that, you have an application, jump in here if I'm correct, Mr. Morrow, you have an application before the zoning hearing board, correct? Yes. Okay, then, in the past, there's been occasions where this board will offer an opinion on that, of what we like or don't like. There's been other occasions where we just say, well, our interest may not be, we'll see what they do. And there's been other times where we've out and out maybe opposed something. If I understand in your situation, you're trying to create two uses on one deed. That's not a good idea, friend.
Okay.
That's not a good idea. I'm not discouraging you. I'm telling you that my 40 years as an attorney, my multiple terms here in this setting, that's an inherent problem. I'm not saying don't try. But if the sole reason for you to do that is to avoid the subdivision cost, that's not a good idea. That's also a challenging area with your driveway. I'm being totally upfront and candid with you. I don't know that we, as a board, would make a motion to go and oppose that. But it's a hard sell to me. As much as I like schools, as much as I like everything else, the problem with multiple properties on one deed, and I don't know what previous speakers were talking about. If you talk in specifics, then I'm much better to able to deal with that. But the problem inherent with two deeds on two houses or two businesses, especially mixed use, understand something, the township may go on in perpetuity, it may go on a long time. There'll be subsequent buyers and sellers, there could be a lot of things, and when it's not, there's a reason why we have a zoning ordinance and land development plans, et cetera, et cetera. It's not to cut people's uses down by any stretch of the imagination. My own personal philosophy is more uses is a good thing, consistent with our zoning. I hope that might not be the answer you wanted to hear, and I'm only one member of a board. If any of my colleagues want to talk about
Have you seen a copy of the lease agreement?
the lease agreement,
Yeah, so typically, the way we do, I know it's fairly new in Berks County, but in Lancaster, it's very common where the landowner signs a lease agreement, and I have a copy I can show you. But basically, he keeps ownership of, and if the school is empty for X amount of years, it's all back into his ownership.
Yeah.
And there's a stipulation in there, if it's sold, what happens and all of that.
Okay.
And it's usually a 99-year lease.
Yeah. Now, the answer to your question is, I don't know that that was attached to the zoning.
Okay.
I'm interested.
Okay.
I'll be glad to take a look at it. I don't know if anybody on this board wants to express an opinion that we would send by our solicitor to. I don't know that we need to do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what they say. I'd like you to get a,
And
fair.
you're going before the zoning hearing board
Next week,
soon.
yes.
Yeah. I think they have a niche focus in that stuff, so we are the voters on, those decisions, but they give us what they think. So what you share with them, and then they're gonna give us their thoughts, and typically we follow what they say, so, I hope it goes well for you.
So let's take
I think I have a copy, let me see, but I don't wanna hold you up on the other items that you have as well, if you want.
That's okay, your time is, you're here.
My recollection was attached to the application, so I have it, I don't have it
Okay.
with me, but the township has it. I think it was a part of your application.
The lease?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was on there, Jason Shaner had it on there.
Okay, well, we'll
So I
take a
believe-
look. If you don't have it, somebody will reach out to you. Your contact information's on that. If you have another copy and they're able to leave it, leave it. Won't
Yeah,
hurt.
I don't have an extra copy.
Okay.
You're welcome to read it if you want, but it's just a few pages.
Okay, we'll reach out to you if we don't have it.
Okay.
All right?
The other thing that Jason did say is he did a line of sight thing there at the driveway, and he is going to present a plan to do some excavation at the banks of the roadway, and he thinks it would be well within line of what's required.
Okay, that's something
With the speed
our engineer
limit.
might take a look at that, and if it can be done easier, if that helps the situation, maybe that's the answer. But we'll
Yeah, I
take-
wasn't looking for a recommendation, I just saw it was on the agenda for tonight, I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't have any questions before next week.
I'm telling you, I have an inherent concern about that. Not that it's insurmountable, but that's just me. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So if there's nothing else on planning that we're aware of, there was somebody here with respect to that data center. Somebody, did they leave? All right, you've heard a lot of that, that's on the agenda. There's been no formal presentation, there's been nothing. We are working our way through an ordinance that's not necessarily easy, but there's been a lot of time put in that. It's been at the planning commission, it's been, I think, back to our solicitor or engineer. We're gonna keep plowing ahead. I've heard no, I'll say, support for that issue or that concept, but understand something, absent of consideration with respect to a joint plan with our neighboring municipalities, data centers are relatively new. Generally speaking, in a township, if you have something that is not planned for, is not listed as a residential use, then essentially by default, those issues can only be located in an industrial district. So it's not that things sometimes can't happen, but it's where they happen. Am I stating that correctly, Mr. Marola, basically?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if that's it for planning and engineering, we'll move on to some legal matters. You have something with the police signature? Was
Right,
that done on Thursday?
I don't recall if that's something we just talked about, or we're really just ratifying the decision from the February meeting to have the rate for the detective position. So, to be cautious, I would just recommend it in a motion to authorize the signature, execution of the memorandum.
I almost remember,
Police unit has already approved.
I almost remember signing that. I'll make a motion in the event it
I
hasn't
hear
been.
this for you to sign.
We didn't sign it yet.
You did not sign it yet, that's what I
Alright.
saw here.
I make a motion then that we execute that. Is all in order? Harold, have you reviewed that?
Actually, I think Mark has.
Yeah, we didn't do it last week.
Yes.
We did?
No, we did not. So
Okay,
we'll-
then I'll make a motion that we execute that memorandum of understanding.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Gullo. All those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. Other legal matters, if any.
I'll just say real quickly, the deeds of dedication are listed there. That requires some attention from the developer there and from engineering to get that ready. So that hopefully be done in April. One thing came in today, or late last night, was Hopewell Lane. There's a property along there, so there's an issue with Carnarvon, where the taxes were going to the wrong, we're going to Carnarvon rather than Robeson. So my suggestion is the board, if you want to do that, would be, again, a memorandum of understanding with Carnarvon that would go to the Board of Assessment, or the Assessment Office rather, in the county to correct that so that the taxes are coming to Robeson.
And that needs to be done next month, tonight.
I would hope to get it done next month. At Carnarvon, I believe.
You'll have an
is
agreement or
agreeable.
something?
Just like an outline, so I wanna make sure Carnarvon's
Okay,
gonna
so-
agree with it. I believe they will.
Okay, so then we'll get to that next month.
Yep. Just wanted to give you a heads up, that just came in. That's it.
We awake, Mr. Redinger.
Yep.
Mr. Redinger is worn out from tree removal.
Good evening, board. First item on my agenda is we spent all day Tuesday, Wednesday, and there's still some roads that are closed. Moving trees, we're moving them as we can when it clears the line, so on and so forth. We're gonna start the prep work on Cacalico. That's gonna be between White Bear and Rock Hollow. That's gonna be for pipe replacement. That's in preparation for the road resurfacing later this spring into summer, whenever the outside contractor gets a hold of us. After that, we're gonna be doing some prep work on Buck Hollow, but that won't be until much later into the summer. Like to schedule interviews for the applicants for the open positions for Public Works. If any supervisor would like to sit in on those interviews, we can schedule them.
Can you send us out an email and get them scheduled ASAP? One of the candidates, or both of them, they look pretty good.
I'd like to interview both candidates.
Yeah, let's get both those right away, they look good.
Within that being said, requested permission to start the process. One of those candidates would be for summer help in the anticipation that he would obtain his Class B CDL, and then we could hire him full-time after that. That's my understanding, right, Harold?
Do you have the, when we hired Brian and did the whole CDL process, do you have how that worked?
I do. So he came to us without a CDL. He paid for his CDL. That was through schooling. Now there's no schooling involved.
Okay.
So it's totally different. It really, I mean, the cost to us is pretty minimal.
Yeah.
As well as the applicant.
And then we just reimbursed him after?
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about it the other day and I just wanted to,
Yeah.
I was not around.
Yeah. Then consider the outsource of mowing the property, which would be the sewer plant here, baseball field, which Gibraltar Park. Just consider looking to outsource that. Multiple reasons. I mean, we're paying somebody basically to sit all winter. The maintenance on the mower, I mean, just last year, I think we spent $10,000 on the zero turn. We're not going to get near that back out of it. So I don't know. Harold and I actually kind of worked up some stuff today. We were looking at different municipalities that put this stuff out to bid. I do think if we were to do that, a 3-year contract would be probably in the best of our interest. So that's just something to consider. I would like, hopefully, to have that kind of wrapped up sooner than later, as the grass is going to start growing here pretty soon, so.
So would we need a motion to allow him to advertise for that, or is that something we'd like to discuss further?
I think I'd like to advertise it
Yeah.
somewhere. I don't wanna do pen bid again, because every time we do pen bid, we get all these right to knows as to who got the contract, how much they got paid. You know, it just creates more work for us.
Yeah, that one pipe replacement that was outsourced, that's all we got, was just
Right.
a barrage of people wanting to know what we paid for it.
So I would like to stay off a pen bid, but there's other places that we can advertise.
So someone made a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion that we authorize advertising for outsourced mowing.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
All right, I have one other thing, and this literally just came in today, before I was leaving the office. We got another quote for the backhoe repair, which is still expensive, but it's almost $17,000 cheaper. The backhoe is up at Jerry Martin. They're telling me, which everybody's concurring with, as well as what, we know, backhoe, the cat backhoe needs a full transmission rebuild. So we're looking at $15,000 to $20,000 for a rebuild. He's pretty confident it'll be closer to like 17, but I would like to just give it 20 if the board allows, just for some wiggle room. I did some research, backhoe of that condition with the hours, the year and everything. We're looking at a replacement of close to 70 to 80, especially with the attachments that we have on that backhoe. They're not normal attachments, and that it just works really well for us. So.
Would this be allowable to amend the agenda to a copy, because
This came up, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's low enough, you don't have to bid it, so you're okay there,
$20,000?
yeah. It's up to 23.
Yeah, they changed
Yeah,
it.
each year goes up.
So you're okay with that limit, but, to get a motion to amend the agenda, since it didn't come from the public, it came from an employee.
So I'll make a motion that we amend the agenda to authorize, include the cat backhoe repairs.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Seconded by Mr. Gullo. All those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
I'll vote yes.
Thank you for it.
Well, we have to make the
Yeah,
motion
motion.
now.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget to ask for public comment.
Yeah, is there any comment on the agenda? So I'll make a motion to authorize the backhoe repair between not to exceed $20,000.
Not to exceed 20,000. I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Mr. Steve?
Yes.
Ms. Fix?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes.
Thank you.
Does that conclude your report?
That's all I have.
Check out the flag. We got it on the playground. That needs to come down and go into your bin.
I ordered 3 new state flags yesterday. That wind storm took it
Yeah,
out
the
of
wind was
everything.
hard on everything, every one.
Yeah, just a little footnote. Yesterday, we had a group come into the Township building. They're from a church over in Gilbertsville, and they offer their services to people who can't afford tree removal. So like they knew the storm came through and they were looking for people who had elderly people or people were couldn't afford to have trees removed. And they offered their service. They left some cards. So if you know anybody that is in that predicament, please give one of us a call.
Put that on the website, Margaret?
It is not yet.
Margaret Fix to put it on the website.
Okay.
Anything
Send me
else,
the
Harold?
information.
Anything else, Harold, on that issue?
No, just remember to sign the bills and sign these resolutions.
Well, we've got the park and recs, yeah?
Yep.
Everybody, the 23rd, we'll pick up sticks, kinda clean her up a little bit. We're gonna go into executive session unless there's something else, correct?
Is there anything you wanted to add, Jeff?
No, the batting cage is up. So thanks to Lisa, Easter Day, and Tribal Athletics Association for volunteering their time.
We need that.
Gravel's gonna be Saturday, and then mulch in April, so
You,
we'll,
you
And I-
want to gravel for this Saturday?
yeah, she's already coordinated, she's got to take
Oh,
care of
okay.
it. Yeah,
It's
so-
already there.
Okay.
There you go.
And I forgot, do we have a date on the celebration?
We'll get the date to you, we're looking at August. It's either the second or third Saturday, seems to work for everyone.
All right, let's check our parks
I'll get it to you.
calendar.
I need to coordinate with, fire and police to see what they can do as well, just to be there.
All right, we got some personnel matters, a contractual matter, we're gonna meet with our attorney. You're all welcome to stay. I'm not sure how long this will take. Keep in mind, the live stream will continue. We're retiring to the garage. And we will be back at some point.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Here, you know what, I'll just give you one of my business cards. Yeah, thank you so much. I wanna get this taken care of.
Nice to meet you, Maggie. It was nice to meet you. Thank you.
Right there, and then you come up with
I went to.
We'll do it.
Yeah, right, it's very nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
We'll put on separate sessions.
That's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, we'll just put them on file, we'll take care of it, yeah. I think the weather looks good for Chance of moving here.
Especially the flyer now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get it.
All right.
Hi, Jerry.
Yep, take care.
I know, I mean, at this point, sleepover, right? Long night.
Let's go, Jay.
Stay anymore.
Get all that? So I was talking to the person talking about the food trucks.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a Twin Valley celebration.
I think that's what Maggie was saying.
I think that's why it's there.
Oh.
Because I was talking to Kendra next to me, and then Allison texted me on the phone. Well, she thinks it's a Twin Valley like senior. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Right. And I think because my guy's senior, I think you're awesome.
That would be amazing. I love it.
That's-
Well, first of all, I love it in general. I don't care where they're from, you know,
Right,
but
right.
yeah, it would even be better if it's
Yeah.
from here.
And I get,
So.
because we looked at it last week, I get Rachel's point, it just wasn't clear to know, like, all right, what are you trying to do, right? Like,
Right.
We didn't know, is it a fundraiser?
Yeah,
Like, we
right,
didn't know.
exactly,
Right.
yeah.
So I'm glad she was here, because now it makes sense.
Right.
I didn't get it, we didn't get it, we looked at it, we didn't get it first.
Yeah, but I do like the idea.
I think it's great.
It's something fun to do, right?
Yeah.
Our town dies down early.
Yeah, as long as we're done by 7, right?
Yeah, exactly. Start at noon, down by 7.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's a cool idea, and maybe it'll bring some more people out together that can have fun, you know?
Because that's what we're talking about for like the celebration day,
Yeah.
like the end of August. It's just like just bringing like the community out. Like
Right,
we
yeah.
had it was a 3-hour long meeting. Like it was my first meeting, so
Yeah, welcome to your first meeting.
Yeah,
It's like, sorry.
they're normally not this long.
it was just really productive, and like we talked about like what we want to do with the community, just like
Yeah.
the person there, we're not really here, but like
exciting.
What is it, Geiger Town's Field, and then Plowville too, just
Right.
incorporate like everyone.
So many fun nights at
Yeah.
Plowville, Geigertown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have a great community. We just got to get the people out there and
Yeah.
have a good time, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah, with you.
Yeah. All
That's what
right.
And thanks for picking Derek, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a good guy.
What
Yeah, good
perfect
choice,
person
yeah,
for this
really-
in the event that I can't. Hopefully we don't ever get to that
You'll
point.
be
But
fine, yeah.
that's what I told him. He's like, Carrie Mounts, something better happen to you now.
We were in the city today because I had my tax bill sitting on the press.
You're ready to
For
come
when
down
I
and
could
see
come
me.
and pay it in
Yeah,
person.
yeah, oh my gosh, I was laughing, I was like, oh, I don't even know what
And I
it
look
is.
at it, man, I have to.
Yeah, but if we could
Yeah.
borrow like spread the zone like a tractor or something, I'm sure Maggie's dad will let us borrow like his like smaller tractor. Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Or like the
Yeah,
ones
oh,
with
yeah,
the
well, I'm
stone
always
and like the
gonna
batting
walk
cage.
Yeah, I know it's
So
there.
never
Even
get
more
jammed
too.
up.
Lisa says,
On
Bear
Hay
says
Creek.
there, Lisa says
So,
it's there, they have
the
very
log
volunteers
cabin
for
next
it.
to Max's.
Okay.
But
So we
I
know where
think
Mom's
Lisa,
disposal
she
is,
starts to watch it too, but I said, hey, maybe I'll
farmhouse,
spend
no,
time.
you don't know where my in-laws are, okay.
See if that's
So
what's
if you come
going on.
down White Bear,
Yeah, I said, do you
and
need,
you
she
come
said,
down
no,
Hay
she
Creek,
goes,
it's
we're
a
all
T,
done.
so
Okay.
make a
But I
left
did ask
on
Gregory,
White,
we talked
or
about
on
it
Hay Creek,
before
or you can
that,
make a right and go towards
I
Baggertown,
gave him the data
Morgantown.
on
Make the left and on the third house
so
on
he's
the
gonna
left.
see if he can borrow that mulch machine.
Yeah, that'd be
Alright.
nice.
Which would be super convenient, cause,
Yeah, yep,
cause last year there was.
All
there was,
good. alright.
Lisa's dad and Barry had a big bobcat that day. Like, Lisa's dad had like a little John Deere, which is with like a
Yeah.
front, which is nice, but Barry had a big one, which really just chewed the grass up.
Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of, I mean, it was great, but you know, kind of like, yeah, it was nice to keep the grass off.
Yeah, that's how I think Rich like he has a smaller one and a bigger one. Like
Yeah.
the bigger one's always gonna eat the grass up, but
Yeah.
the smaller one might not be too bad.
Right, yeah.
Worst
Yeah.
case scenario, we throw it back in my truck and we'll drive around. It's not too heavy.
Well, the good thing was even with the even small one, it actually was bad. Like, you know, you get a couple, you know, we had a wheelbarrow parade going back and forth. So at least you had it going, which is
Oh,
great.
that's nice.
And then he was working at the same time, so it didn't take long. I think it was 3 hours.
Mhm.
It's just, you know, where's your, with on yards, which is the best bang for the buck, right?
Yeah.
Our biggest focus is the straight bar gym climber, because the
Mhm.
footers are exposed. But we have rubber masks, we said we have rubber masks that you
Yeah.
for, as far as that goes. Hang on. Oh, that's my other half. Hey. No. Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good.
Oh. I thought Kara said it was. Oh, I thought she said it was. Like, oh, she.
Mark and Mark.
Oh, okay, all right. We didn't, I thought she said it was for graduation. All right, I got it. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah, no, that's fine. Bye. Okay, good thing video's on. She said it's not for traumatic graduation, the future. I thought it was.
Oh.
I thought I heard.
I thought that's what it was too.
Yeah, I thought she said it was, but I think she said it would be nice if it was something like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, but it wasn't great for her, yeah, but.
Yeah, just bring the community out too.
Yeah. Or you say, yeah, there's food trucks out there, just go, you know.
Yeah,
tell them,
exactly.
you know, Go get food, which is, support them, which is what they're doing, which is great, so.
Be nice too for us to like, even if that's going on, like make like a little survey or something like
Oh, yeah.
what updates they want to like
Right.
the parks in the community too. How we talked about for the celebration day.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely agree as far as that goes, so,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah. Trial by fire for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you can do.
Yeah, what do you do? Yeah.
Yeah, if it fails one year, just go to the next year. Like you build off those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, I'm glad she supported, which is good, so. Yeah, I think everything was discussed,
It was crazy, like during like when they were putting up the batting cage 2 weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks ago.
yeah.
Like all the volunteers, like they just had it up in like no time. I got
Oh.
there an hour later, and like the
Oh,
entire
they were
frame was
rocking, yeah.
standing.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was wet that day, I don't know if it was raining or not, or.
No, it was like
It
a
was
mist,
just
like
right,
overcast, but
Right.
no, it was like super wet. So it was nice. Like you got everything in the concrete. Like
Right.
they put the footers in to like spread the stone, like let it dry.
Right.
And then Lisa and I she walked me around, like showed me like a bunch of different things. Cause like not like too familiar with the park.
Yeah.
So it's nice now. It's like know where a lot of things are. And, like our meetings, like know what you're talking about with like the water line or like where this is.
Right.
So it's like I cleaned out the snack shack.
Oh, yeah.
Like, holy cow! So I donated like a big thing of like Lysol wipes to it.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's like all the questions.
So what's that? Just share the.
Sometimes I help.
Yeah.
Never had you discussing someone's like.
I'm not actually
It's like the rose petals and stuff. They're just like playing around.
As far
Yeah,
as
that's
people
true.
wanting to know
Right.
everything.
Right.
Okay, we're back in session here. I'd like to announce that executive session with some legal and personnel matters discussed. And that we have applications and are going to extend an offer of employment to a new township manager as well as a full-time fiscal assistant. Anything else before this board? So stay tuned. A lot of people are interested in these positions, and stay tuned.
And we'll share more about them once.
Yeah, more information
We
will
just don't
be,
want to jeopardize anything else.
more
that's going
more
on.
information will be forthcoming. If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to mention that we interviewed one individual for manager only.
We had one applicant.
We have more than one applicant. One individual was interviewed and was picked tonight to be hired, but Chief Rimby has to wait and let
No one
everybody
was-
else have their fair chance.
No one was picked to be hired.
Yes,
We're
they
gonna
were.
make these people
We
an
were
offer.
provided one resume for a manager.
We had three
That note,
three
I am done with this
resumes,
meeting. No,
and
no,
Just
you
like
did
the
what you wanted
we
to do.
have a very good opportunity
You
here,
did what you
folks,
wanted to do.
to move ahead.
You provided one candidate and
Sure.
hired
I'm
him
a little
in
confused.
45
A
minutes.
quality candidate.
So Ms. Bryanstein brought up that you had 3 applicants for township manager when you obviously had enough votes for everything. So why didn't you go forward with that?
We tried to and he backed out because someone talked to him.
Okay, so
That is
you could have done a little bit more.
Well, what could I do?
So-
The
so-
guy didn't want to take the job.
So we have
So
some
we're
good,
making Chief Rimby's
next
other candidates wait and
Well,
everybody
this-
be fair, but we interviewed one person
And you didn't show up.
yesterday and we're hiring him tonight.
no, we're offering, making an offer as soon as we
And it's a
can.
90-day probationary. If it doesn't
I'll,
work out,
uh,
it doesn't work out.
I'll make a motion then that we adjourn this evening. We'll note that Mr. Gulo has left the building.
So he doesn't want to sign anything.
Who
this
did the
evening.
interviews for the manager, Harold?
Harold and I
Who
did.
We
So
did.
there's a motion,
Everybody was
there's a
on it.
motion on the floor.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? You wanna note Mr. Gulo has left the building. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. You had a question on,
Yeah, I just didn't know who did those
Yeah,
interviews. I
so
didn't know.
all the supervisors were invited.
Okay.
We-
I didn't know.
We were,
I personally think you don't get somebody of his caliber very often, and we got him and we
got a
needed
rare,
that.
unique opportunity here.
He's
I'm
somebody-
excited though. We need
Yeah.
a manager.
I think that's
I'm all in
gonna-
favor. I'm all in
It's gonna
favor.
clear up a
Jennifer,
lot.
I mean, I don't.
Jennifer.
I can't wait to meet him. I hope he takes it.
Jennifer.
I really do. We need a manager.